Alrighty folks, hello there. This is Alan recording another comprehensive Magic the Gathering Arena Draft video. I haven't uploaded too much content. Last time I made a video, it was about getting my friend out of the low ranking Mythic. Spoiler alert! It didn't happen. I didn't get him out of Mythic because I just didn't have enough time and I was a little bit too busy on my hands. But if I had enough time, I would have easily gotten him out. But anyways, I've done a lot of Forgotten Realms draft already in real life and also on Arena, so it shouldn't be too difficult for me to showcase what you should do. And it's just been a long time, and I need a little bit more Forgotten Realms content on my channel. So given that we have at least 3K gems now, I've grinded up to allow us to do the Forgotten Realms draft challenge, which is basically just draft but higher stakes. This is going to be best out of 3, and then I believe the wins are worth it since you end up getting a ton of tokens if you can get up to at least 3 wins, best out of 3 if you manage to do so. Just getting 2 draft tokens, I think is worth it, and I think it's worth diving into this draft challenge. So let's begin. And really, in this set, it's all about leaning towards black-red as much as possible. Obviously, you're not gonna first pick like obviously blue is the worst color, as we all know by now, but it's not by any means unplayable. If you open up a blue bomb rare like Imareth, Mind Flayer, or Mordenkainen, it's not wrong taking the blue card, but most of the blue commons just aren't great outside of Jin Windseer. But this should be pretty fun. So let's begin. Pack 1, pick 1, Premier Draft, Adventures in the Forgotten Realm. We opened a pretty fun one. Eliwick, Tumblestrum, probably still not the most amazing card, but still pretty good. Just a nice value value planeswalker, allowing you to keep constantly venturing over and over again with the plus ability, and then the -2 can just gain you value by drawing you a creature in the late game. Usually you're not going to cast the ultimate or find a legendary and gain 3 life, but it's a pretty good card. The Uncommons Barrowwind is quite good, but you need to be in the white-black Adventures deck, Dungeon Speedrun deck, and then at common, probably the best common is Priest of the Ancient Lore. If Eliwick wasn't in his pack, I'd probably take Priest, but Eliwick is a lot of fun. I think white is slightly better than green in this set, and green is definitely one of the weaker colors compared to blue, but this Planeswalker is still really strong. Green also has a bit of a venture theme. It's not too heavily emphasized like it is in the Esper colors, but it's still serviceable. So I'll try an Eliwick Tumblestrum. If not, I think Priest of the Ancient Lore would be the best common out of his pack. Hoarding Ogre is also great if you're in Black-Red Treasures, but we'll see. Okay, after first picking Eliwick, we do see a Zorn here. As I mentioned, you do want to lean towards the Black-Red Treasures deck as much as possible, but there's also some great white-green commons in this pack. Spoils of the Hunt and Null Hunter both stand out as pretty good green commons. There's the Feywild Trickster if you want to end up in the blue-red dice roll deck. Given that I took Eliwick, I don't think I want to lean towards the treasure deck with Zorn. Zorn is really powerful if the treasure deck is open, and it's quite busted. But Eliwick is just a strong planeswalker too. And between Null Hunter and Spoils of the Hunt, it's kind of interesting to note. I might prefer the Null Hunter. I think it's just very, very important to have good 2-drops in green in the early game. Like Spoils usually tend to wheel, and it's still conditional removal. You still need a creature with enough power to allow it to fight. And it's possible that if we end up in a secondary color, we can always find removal for that color as well. So I'm kind of down to just take the Null Hunter. It's just a really good 2-drop, and it's not too difficult to enable pack tactics in this set. So we'll try Null Hunter over Zorn. Zorn has more upside, but again, the Planeswalker is just too fun, and I do want to just stick with green, and we can now just take a Spoils of the Hunt. Other good cards include Black Dragon and Goblin Morningstar. So had we taken Zorn, we'd probably be looking at maybe the Black Dragon or the Goblin Morningstar, or even Hoarding Ogre, which is a good common. Hoarding Ogre with the Zorn is pretty busted. But given that we're in green again, I think we just take a Spoils of the Hunt as one of the best green commons. And if this wasn't his pack, I wouldn't mind taking Goblin Morningstar and leaning towards some sort of red-green aggro deck. Even though Eliwick doesn't play well in an aggro deck, red-green aggro is definitely one of the better archetypes. Like, Eliwick plays better in black-green, where you're trying to ramp with the Black Dragon, but luckily we have Spoils here to kind of split the difference, so we'll take that. Loathsome Troll, not too big of a fan of it. It's not a great card. It does trade. I mean, like, sure, it's a creature that you can constantly recur over and over again, but it's a lot of mana. But either way, what are we planning to take here? A Sepulchre Ghoul in black-green doesn't really make sense. Iron Golem is kind of filler. Usually you can just pick up enough 4-drops in this set, and being able to force the block and attack can be a bit of a detriment. So I'm not a big fan of Loathsome Troll, but I'll take it here because there's nothing much for us, and this can easily be replaced by a Ranger or like a whatchamacallit, the Owlbear, but I'll still take it here. Stick to green for now, and green does seem pretty open for my right-hand side. This pack isn't great. The best cards in this pack are like Fly, maybe Underdark Basilisk. Contact Outer Plane, usually a card that is pretty amazing in other sets, but in this set you really want to establish board presence. Fly's pretty good, but I don't see a reason to split off to a different color. Like Underdark Basilisk is a pretty fine mid-range controlled creature, and our deck is turning out to be more mid-range and controlling. Like No Hunter is more of an aggressive card, but you know, I don't mind Underdark Basilisk, just a card that overperforms, especially with Spoils of the Hunt, since it has Death Touch. And it'll just keep us in green, so no reason to take anything else. And we'll take a second Spoils of the Hunt, okay. And some other fine commons in this pack: Swarming Goblins, Overperformers, same with Zombie Ogre, Arboreal Pegasus, Great Flyer if we end up in the white-green life gain deck, but we'll just take a second Spoils. At this point, we're just mono green, and yeah, there's no reason to deviate from green. There's Direwolf Prowler, which is a reasonable 3-drop. In the late game, you can pump this to give it haste, and it can also trade up. So fine card. Overall, still can't find our secondary color. Seems like blue does seem open, so I could end up in some sort of blue-green deck. And speaking of blue-green, there is a blue dragon we can potentially ramp into if we pick up cards like Neverwinter Dryad. I don't think Neverwinter Dryad is too low of a power level to consider compared to Blue Dragon, that I think I will speculate on the Blue Dragon, and then maybe we can end up in some sort of blue-green ramp deck. And, you know, blue is just not a great color, but you can make it happen if the cards do end up wheeling, so we'll take a Blue Dragon here and speculate. And then I guess in case we end up black-green, which I rather prefer to be in, if I was to be in a green control deck in this set, I'd rather just be in black-green. We can just take Check for Traps, which is a totally fine card in a more controlling version of the green deck. Since it's not a card that's looking to really develop any board presence, just a cheap way to snipe the opponent's hand early on. And then, there's a late Feywild Trickster, although we're not really trying to do the dice rolling thing in green. We only have like one dice roll card. It's still very good, but I mean, if I end up in blue-green ramp, I don't want to miss out on a Clever Conjurer. Usually you're trying to ramp and do some big things in green, so Clever Conjurer can help us ramp. So as much as I prefer the Feywild Trickster and has higher upside, this is more of a blue-red card, and we're not going to be rolling our dice a lot, so I'll take a Clever Conjurer, and then in case I need some sort of bounce spell, maybe I can take You Come to a River. Compel Duel is not great. It's fine with trample creatures, but there's not too many trample creatures in this set. If I end up blue-green, I don't mind having a bounce spell, some sort of interaction. And yeah, blue-green does seem very open. None of these cards I really care. Just take a random Mimic in case I need a mana rock. Like, it's still... I mean, I guess you need to sacrifice this. This is a pretty bad card. So I guess I'll take the Pixie in case, just to cut off some blue. And yeah, Contact Outer Plane is pretty late, one of the better blue commons. I think the best blue common is Jin Windseer, followed by Clever Conjurer, and maybe Contact Outer Plane or Charm Sleep. But seeing this late at this time, we should just be in a blue-green deck, and yeah, Soul Knife Spy. So, okay, we'll be in the worst two colors in this set. It's totally fine. I'm not against drafting the two worst colors, and we get rewarded with a Wandering Troubadour. Although, I do like Owlbear, but Wandering Troubadour with Eliwick is pretty strong, and it's not too difficult to enable, and this card is quite powerful. So, we'll take a Wandering Troubadour. We can be in a blue-green control deck with a bit of venturing going on, and then hopefully we can maybe pick up an Owlbear or a Hill Giant Herd Gorger later, but Wandering Troubadour is excellent. Okay, there's another Spoils, although I do have two already. I don't mind just taking a nice top-end creature like Hill Giant Herd Gorger. On turn 6, this card is quite strong. Like, Spoils is great, but with two copies, I do want to round out the curve a little bit better, and hopefully we can pick up a card like maybe another Spoils or Find the Path later. Also, Warlock class is great, but yeah, Hill Giant Herd Gorger can help us fill out the top end a bit. Gives us a good 6-drop we can ramp into, and just a great card in general. But we definitely could use a little bit more ramp in this deck. Are we ever going to get the Tarask? I mean, this card is pretty unplayable outside of blue-green, I think. It's really difficult. Has haste and ward 10 as long as it's cast. Whenever it attacks, it fights target creature defending player controls. I might prefer actually just the Evolving Wilds to help me fix my lands. I think having a good mana base is important, and then getting up to 9 mana is incredibly difficult. Getting to 7 and 6 is already a bit of work, and we don't have too much ramp. I think this card could just be a trap, so I think I'd rather just take the Evolving Wilds to help my mana fixing. There's also the Eccentric Prentice, which has a bit of venture synergy, but the ability isn't great in the late game. There's no it's gonna be at its best in some sort of blue-black deck that's trying to get some sort of creature across. I guess it's decent to Snow Knife Spy, but outside of it isn't great, so I'll take an Evolving Wilds. I highly doubt we'll cast the Thrask, and yeah, Ray of Frost can be a fine removal spell. Even if it doesn't target a red creature, a creature can still attack, and you can tap it down the next following turn. Pretty reasonable. And then could take another Null Hunter, even though we're not really an aggro deck. It's just a fine 2-drop we can play early on to trade off. Sometimes you can just curve out with it and enable pack tactics, and that's some nice upside. Otherwise, we're looking at a Rime Shield Frost Giant, which is okay. True Polymorph is also just very okay as well. Target artifact creature becomes a copy of another target artifact creature. Yeah, it seems kind of weird. I'll just take a Null Hunter. And then I guess I'll take another Contact Airplane, although there's a Neverwinter Dryad, which I might be more interested in, since we could use some ramp. I guess there's also Dungeon Map, which could also be useful, has a bit of venturing going on. Yeah, the discard could also be pretty nice, but if there's some sort of artifact destruction that could be a problem. So I might prefer the Neverwinter Dryad. We do have some venturing going on already. I mean, this will be my pick outside of the Neverwinter Dryad, but it's just important to get this early on, I think, and it can really help me hit my land drops. So I think this is much more reliable, and Hunter's Mark is late, great removal spell. Wouldn't mind Elterguard Ranger 2 as a fine 5-drop, definitely better than Loathsome Troll, but could use more good removal. And also can't be countered, can deal with other cards. Yeah, I guess I'll just take this for the collection. Highly doubt we'll play it. Just isn't a great card, hard to get going. And we'll take another mana land that can help us fix. So now the fixing looks good. And then Scion could be fine. We're not really a tempo deck though, but it does seem better than Power of Persuasion, which is really bad. Why does this card be Sorcery Speed? In case we end up trying to get some hits across, could use Scion, but it's definitely a replaceable card. And I already have a U come to River. I guess I'll take this for the commons. I mean, I guess if I have enough Death Touch, Spare Dagger could be a thing, but it's more of a black-green thing. We only have one Death Touch creature, so I'll just take the uncommon for the collection. Not sure if I'll play Sylvan Shepherd, more of a white-green card, and then Rime Shield Frost Drying in case I don't have any more 5s. Could be a reasonable filler card. And another late Contact Other Plane. Okay, I'll happily play 2 copies. So the deck is almost built, and Ranger's Class was a really nice gift. Other than that, I wouldn't mind a Prosperous Innkeeper to help us stabilize a bit and help us ramp, but Ranger's Class is a complete bomb, and I'm not going to pass it up. Just one of the best 2-drops you can play, and one of the best classes to open. Probably the best one, not sure. Between Paladin class and Ranger class, they're both close, but one can argue the other. And here, nothing great. There's another Basilisk, which does play well with the spoils and gives us a good 2-drop. There is a random Inspiring Bar, which is really medium. But I don't think we're splashing for red, or we can. I mean, with Evolving Wilds and Tempo, we could splash for a red card, which isn't too bad, and Dragon's Fire is definitely a good one. Outside of the mana fixing, we don't have much, but I mean, I could consider it. Outside that, I mean, there's another Underdark Basilisk, which is, again, fine, but I'd rather prefer maybe splashing for Dragon's Fire, because it's just such a good card. So, yeah, sure, why not? Let's splash for Dragon's Fire if it's possible. Go a bit of Teamer, and then I'm not even a big fan of the Green Dragon, to be honest. Probably just happier with a second spoil, so maybe miss out on the Basilisk, since the Basilisk could have at least probably gave me an extra creature to have Death Touch with. But I'll take another spoils. And then we do have a bit of venture theme, so I could consider the Displacer Beast over the Scion that we already have. This is a fine card, but maybe the Displacer Beast is worth it. I don't have too much mana. I don't have too many ways to sink mana, but it does help me venture when it enters the battlefield. So it's actually not that bad of a card. And besides, what else is there? Not much. I'm not splashing for Farida or the Swarming Goblins, so we'll try to Displacer Beast. And then Jin is one of the better blue commons in this set, so I'll take that. There's also you find a Curse Auto, which could be okay. And then with the venture theme, I could consider Secret Door. Although I already have a Displacer Beast. Scaled Herbalist doesn't do much. I guess I'll take a Secret Door. Not sure if I'll play it though. And Long Rest could be a fun card to play in this deck. We tend to be a little bit more controlling, and yeah, seems like a pretty nice spell to ramp into. We're never going to get CMC 8s, but it's still a nice way to recur some things. Although we could have enough value that we might not need it, but Find a Path is a really nice pickup, allowing us to ramp as well. And then I'll just take a Direwolf Prowler, not sure if I'll play it. So we have more than enough playables. I could see just ditching the Long Rest. It's just a ton of mana to sink, and we don't have too much ramp. I could also see playing Null Hunter, but it's also a decent 2-drop. You Come to River is not amazing. It is an instant we can have, but we already have triple Spoils and Hunt, so that's definitely a card I don't mind just getting rid of. Although the cheap efficiency could be nice at instant speed, so maybe I just cut the Long Rest. Loathsome Troll is not great. I could also just consider cutting this. It just trades down too much. And then so we're at 25 cards. I could see splashing red for Dragon's Fire. Could cut a Spoils. 1 Spoils could be cuttable. I guess a second Underdark Basilisk is nice. So maybe now we don't need something like You Come to a River, or we might not even need to splash Dragon's Fire if that's the case, you know. Like the card quality is already high enough, I don't need to splash red. So we're at 25 cards. We definitely need to run 17 lands in this type of deck, I have to imagine. Could just cut Rime Shield Frost Giant, although it's a decent blocker, which we don't have a ton of. Soul Knife Spy is kind of weird if we aren't able to get any attacks across. I'm liking the 4s. The 4s are all pretty good. The 3s are good. Displacer Beast is also not amazing, so I could consider cutting that as well. So our deck can look something like this, which isn't too bad. Creature count 12, not a ton of creatures. The cards I don't really like is You Come to a River. I like the Neverwinter Dryad since it helps me ramp. Ray of Frost is always nice. These 2s are decent. I like Clever Conjurer. Direwolf Prowler is fine. I like the Find a Path and triple Spoils as removal. I like the card draw. I like the Hunter's Mark. I like all my 4s. 5s and 6 and 7 looks fine. So I could cut. So the only card I can see cutting is maybe You Come to a River. So then maybe we can add an extra card into the library that we just cut. So maybe I can cut You Come to a River. And then what card do I want to take here? Could take Long Rest. This is a little bit more situational and hard to get going. And we do have a bunch of card advantage, so I don't really see the need to. Could take Loathsome Troll. It's not an amazing creature, it's kind of slow. Maybe play a second Dire Prowler, or maybe we play Soul Knife Spy or Scion of the Stygia. Soul Knife Spy could be fine, but we don't really have any ways to leverage it with evasion. So if we kind of look at the curve, what's our creature curve looking like? Not a ton going at 3. We have a decent amount of 2s already. The 4s look fine. So our curve looks something like this. So we could use something to help round out the curve. Maybe another Direwolf Prowler. There's also Displacer Beast. If we want to focus more on adventure theme, again, Soul Knife Spy and Scion of Stygia could also be okay. Scion's very medium though. It's not a very good card. It is a bit of tempo, but a 2-1 doesn't really do much, if anything at all. Soul Knife Spy is a little bit difficult to get in unless we have a ton of removal. So I'm kind of down to just take maybe a Direwolf Prowler, just a 2/2 with some upside that can pump itself. Displacer Beast is also just very slow. 3 mana 3/2. Like maybe I guess this can be a 5 mana sink, but at the same time, I'd rather just have a Direwolf Prowler at the end of the day, maybe just to have like a 4/4 in the late game that can attack past some creatures. So you could also consider a True Polymorph, which is fine, but also not very exciting. We don't have too many artifacts, so we can't really turn any artifacts into creatures we want. Most of our creatures are also high quality, so turning the opponent's creatures to something that we have isn't great. Unless the opponent has a bad creature, we can turn it into that, but still not looking fantastic. So yeah, maybe the Direwolf Prowler is just worth it here, and we can run something like this. Deck seems fine. Just there's a lot of defense in the early game, a lot of removal. Not too much expensive curve toppers, but maybe we can, like, if we're gonna be adventuring a bit, we can maybe do the Tomb of Annihilation and eventually just get a 4/4 Death Touch creature So this could be fine. And then the mana base slightly favoring green. I guess we're heavily favoring green a bit. And then we definitely need green for the Neverwinter Dryad since it can get us a forest. Like, blue doesn't seem heavily emphasized, but maybe it's still something like this. So we have 10 green sources, 9 blue sources could still be alright. Yeah, I guess this is the safer approach. I could cut an island and just do the blue instead, since it does seem like we really need green, and if we have blue in the early game, it doesn't accomplish much. Like, all of our creatures on turn 2 and 1 are green, so I'm actually kind of just down to cutting an island and then just adding an extra forest. This way we have 11 green sources and then 8 blue sources, and then go for something like this. So, yeah, we can try something like this out. You Come to a River could also be a thing. Like, the instant speed bounce effect could be kind of reasonable. Yeah, I mean, I don't hate this card, but at the same time, we're kind of lacking creature quality, and I'd rather have all the rest of these other cards. Could cut a Spoils for it. Is that reasonable? Spoils is pretty good at Death Touchers, and it just kills things, which is very important, but it could also be kind of clunky, and if I'm unable to use this to kill anything, it's kind of bad. So there's an argument for cutting it for You Come to a River, even though You Come to a River is definitely a lower power level card. The flexibility of it could be worth it. Just being able to bounce a non-land permanent could have some utility. Yeah, you know what? I think it's fine cutting as Spoils and taking a You Come to a River. And the fact that I can also make a creature unblockable can also help us close out the late game. So I can see myself cutting one Hunter's Mark. At the same time, it still shows that we need 2 more cards in the deck. We're running 17 lands. I guess we're lacking cards still. So I guess this... Oh, I guess I cut all my Spoils. Never mind. I'll just put 2 of them here. And then You Find the Path can give us some ramp, which can help us with the Contact Other Planes and the rest of these 4s, which are kind of clunky. We have some stuff to ramp into, so... Yeah, let's give this deck a shot. Seems pretty good. Simic Venture. So let's double check. Yeah, Long Rest could be fine, but stuff needs to end up in the graveyard, and it's kind of situational. This trade's down a little bit too slow. Spoils of the Hunt is probably the best card in the sideboard. This is okay. Soul Knight Spy is okay if we can get through, but it's hard. And I highly doubt we're going to be activating this constantly and replaying it unless we flood completely. But we should be fine here. And we do have some card advantage, like these double contact Other Planes and Eliwick. So let's give this a shot. We're in the 2 worst colors in this set, but I have faith. And definitely looks like a really fun deck. As long as we can secure 3 wins, we can get 2 draft tokens. So just kind of have to make sure I don't lose twice. Opponent probably chooses to be on the play, and we're probably on the draw. Looks like a fine keepable hand. Probably need double green to cast. I mean, I guess we need green more than blue, and we don't have any double blue cards outside of Dragon, which we'll eventually get to. So we'll keep this in name green here. I think having double green earlier is much more important than blue. And then which card to lead with? Probably fine leading with a Null Hunter, since I don't mind dealing a bit of damage. Although Underdark Basilisk is better with the Hunter's Mark. This is a better late game card, whereas this is just fine to get out early on. Maybe play the Pluttering Barbarian here on turn 3. Nothing? Okay, that's not a bad sign. Let's move to attacks. And then we can play out the Direwolf Prowler, which can threaten to pump next turn. Could see a removal spell end of turn as well. No removal spell, okay, so we're kind of, we're getting a free roll out of this Black-Red Treasures deck. And, yeah, now I kind of regret not playing the Underdark Basilisk early on. I could still pump an attack, and then if he trades, we can still trigger Pack Tactics and play a Underdark Basilisk, which I don't mind. I do want to get this Pack Tactics enabled, and if he wants to venture, that's fine. More interested in maybe killing Null Hunter, since I'm kind of forced to pump this. But This way I can maybe set up for a better Underdark Basilisk turn. Opponent's probably going to look to do the Lost Mine of Pandelver. Since Black-Red isn't looking to venture much, it just wants to get the nice value venturing right away, and then Underdark Basilisk is really nice here since it sets up a pretty good Hunter's Mark. That's a good one. I could just stay back here and use a removal spell. Like, I don't really see the reason attacking here. I guess Spoils. Yeah, we can either Spoils. I guess we can Spoils and Pump, which isn't too bad. And then we can get in for a decent amount of damage. So I'm down for that. We'll just use Spoils here. Take out the 4/3 could be reasonable, and then we can Pump with the 2/2, get in some damage. Just to do a mana efficient turn. And yeah, no need to Pump here. Just keep up my 2, which we could foretell. But this isn't that set. What's that set called? Kaldheim. Probably see a removal spell on one of these creatures. Next turn, ooh, Magic Missile, okay. Sure, I guess he values killing the Death Hunter more. I can still Pump this next turn and cast Contact Outer Plane. Rim Wanderer is pretty good. Yeah, that's a little bit annoying. Clever Conjurer could be okay. But I might be more interested in pumping and trading and then casting Contact Outer Plane end of turn. I can't really pump and do much. I could also just offer to trade here and then cast Contact Outer Plane. I mean, if he wants to prevent damage, this could be fine. I could have also pumped and used Hunter's Mark. So there's a lot of things I could have done, but I think we'll just say go and cast Contact Outer Plane end of turn. But the opponent's top end quality is pretty high, not gonna lie. Just draw 2. Not amazing, but 4-mana draw 2 isn't the worst. And then we can still play Rime Shield Giant, and then hold off the 4/3. Next turn we can cast a removal spell, and then maybe get across for 4. Zombie Ogre is pretty good. Luckily Hunter's Mark can take it out. Yeah, I could attack here. If he blocks here, I can use Hunter's Mark, Pump, and then do something. If he does double blocks, we can blow out one of his creatures, so... I guess I'm fine with this. He could have a removal spell here. I mean a pump spell. I mean there's Ward 1, so I don't mind if he chumps here. He can't really... Yeah, this is Ward 3, I guess. So he's just using this to chump, which I don't really care too much about. So we can just develop the board. Flyer seems good. Bomb any lands. Ooh, Herd Gorger is really nice. Don't really need the Evolving Wilds. Herd Gorger is a nice gift though. And then we can maybe try to smash in with some big boys and go from there. Okay, just a removal spell. Okay, so now, I mean, he could block. I think I just want to play the Hill Giant Herd Gorger and pass. And then next turn maybe try to kill this. No reason to attack, we'll say go. Could have untap land to maybe represent something, but that doesn't seem great. I guess we can kill both the creatures next turn and just attack. And that could be nice. He could be holding a Deadly Dispute, but I don't really care. Yeah, this is fine. I think we want to use Rime Shield Frost Giant to kill the 4/4. And that resolved pretty quickly, so this should be an easy Hunter's Mark. And then we should be able to get in for a ton of damage here, so... I mean, we should be able to close this one out. Opponent has some good quality top end. His early game just wasn't great. So I can... But he has some nice chonky creatures in his black-red mid-range deck. Not too much sacrifice going on, but still a pretty decent deck. Well, I guess it's still best out of 3 we're still playing. So what's important? I like the double Null Hunter. The U come to river is pretty good if the opponent is casting expensive stuff. Don't see changing much, honestly. Everything looks good. This is a more grindier matchup, and yep, I think this is a fine fine deck still. Gotta be careful of the Grim Wanderer since we saw that first game, so don't necessarily want to trade off too much. Clever Conjurer, Null Hunter, Clever Conjurer seems pretty good. He's on the play again. Wandering Troubadour is nice as well. Okay, Vorpal Sword is a bomb. Okay, yeah, that's a card I don't want to play against. So I might have to trade off a creature just to get this out of the way. Probably see a removal spell, perhaps. Okay, that's not bad. I'll take a magic missile. So now what? We're probably planning to cast a Troubadour on 4 to get value, so I think the Clever Conjurer is probably better than the Direwolf Prowler, because there's a chance we could end up double spelling, and it's better to get the mana ramp advantage online. Okay, we can always bounce the Vorpal Sword. This is 8 mana to activate, so it's going to be a long time, so I think what we want to do is attack and then play the Wandering Troubadour. And then we get to get some Venture going on. Could also go to do Tomb of Annihilation, which could be a thing, but I think that's a little bit too risky. Could also try the Dungeon of the Mad Mage, but I think the Lost Mine is just what everyone does, and it gains you value immediately. I don't have time to play double Direwolf Prowler next turn, so I think it's fine bombing it. And top decking the land isn't the worst, since I can eventually just start triggering the Wandering Troubadour constantly, so. Hoarding Ogre is pretty strong. I think I need to kill that. I'm hoping he equips this, but nope. Yeah, I think I'd go for it here. I think it's just too strong of a card to have sit around. And I think it's important to just get in for the extra 2 damage since the opponent has a bomb Vorpal Sword. So attacking the Clever Conjurer is pretty good, and then we can still play a Basilisk, which can block future creatures. And then could make a treasure token, but making a 1/1 Goblin also just applies a bit of more pressure. And also leads us toward a second chapter, which allows us to put a 1/1 counter onto a creature, or make them lose 1 life, so. And the bounce spell is really nice next turn too. Land is also nice, so what we can do now is we can play Prowler, and we can activate and attack with it. He can't really flash in Grim Wanderer because no creatures died. He can flash in Manticore, but I'm totally fine with the trade. Wow, 6 mana Eyes of the Beholder, not the best removal spell. And then we can just bounce a large creature that he has and finish him off next turn. And yeah, we got him. Luckily, he didn't see any Sepulchre Ghouls or Stealer Sacks in his black-red deck, so pretty easy matchup. Definitely want to be on play especially in this format. And we have a Death Touch creature plus some removal. Seems fine. Although I wouldn't mind more removal. I mean, some more creatures. And I don't really want to. Opponent's mulling to 4. Wow. Okay. I mean, if he wants to concede the first match, I'm totally fine with that. But hopefully okay, he's mulling to 4. I mean, it does happen. And I mean, I've lost against mull to 5s, but not 4. So I still think I'm in a decent spot, and the opponent's also playing blues, so not the scariest. Arcane Investigator, also not too scary. I could also just Hunter's Mark this, but I don't care. He's not at 6 mana. This isn't a ton of pressure. I'm fine just keeping on my instances if he tries to do anything here. I'll kindly take 2. Could end of turn just spoils it. I mean, it's a pretty annoying creature, and we do have some removal already, so we'll just do this. We still have Hunter's Mark for future creatures, and he's also playing red, so I want to hold on to the Rare Frost. Okay, he got me there. Alright, got 2 for 1, but hopefully this doesn't keep continuing. Dragon's Fire took out my removal spell and my Death Touch creature, so definitely not in the best spot. This Arcane Investigator could also generate a ton of card advantage if I'm not careful. Farida needs to die. I guess we can shut down all abilities, right? Yup, so we can just lock this down and loses all abilities, so it won't be able to draw him cards even if he rolls a d20. So yeah, just not drawing much of anything. Do I lose to an actual mode of 4? It's possible. Because I got 2 for 1 from Dragon's Fire, and now I'm getting my butt kicked. I think the Arcane Investigator is a much more important card to kill, because he can just generate enough card advantage eventually to overrun me. But yeah, wow, I'm losing to a mold of 4. Is this Chris Higashi? I think I know him in real life. Oh my god, am I actually going to lose? Feywild Trickster is really strong. Eliwick, okay. Guess I'll just minus Eliwick and try to get something going. And Neverwinter Dryad's okay, but I'd rather just take a Null Hunter here. I do want to keep up my
I always love an audience.
so I can block and then kill something. Hopefully target the Feywild Trickster. So he's probably going to send in his whole team. And then hopefully I don't get completely blown out here. Okay. If he's going to attack 3 to the face, I can definitely do some stuff here. So I think killing the Feywild Trickster is much more important. So I think blocking with the Arcane Investigator and then using Hunter's Mark on the Feywild Trickster makes more sense, since he could have some potential weird pump spells going on. So I think this is a better play, and this can't be countered either, so yeah. So maybe this can bring me back. Ooh, deck of many things. That's a scary card. Well, Eliwick is not doing much. I can just -2 again to hopefully find a creature. Yeah, it's probably worth doing, since he's probably going to threaten to attack Eliwick anyways next turn. And Hill Giant Herdgorger is nice. So I think it's really important to just play this out and attack for 2. You can activate this. I don't know how this works. I mean, you can eventually get him back in the game, so I need to be careful here. Jin Windseer, I think we still attack here and then trade for the Valor Singer. Might be more important to kill the Brazen Borrower, not sure. Oh wow, it just draws 2 cards off of the deck of many things. We can get in for 7, play the Jin Windseer. Scry 2. Direwolf Prowler could be alright, definitely don't need Evolving Wilds. Direwolf Prowler is okay, but, you know, I guess it can help me kill him if he doesn't block. So I guess I'll keep it on top and then try to scare him. I don't know. This could be bad. I guess he can activate the Hall, but I can still block the 1/3 and take 7 down to 2 and kill him next turn if he isn't careful. Brings back Feywild Trickster. Chaos Channeler is quite good. I can play the Direwolf Prowler, give it haste. If he chumps the 7/5, that's not great. I guess I might want to keep this back to block, but if he activates the Hall of the Storm Gods, I'm going to be in trouble. So I think it's more important to just attack with the Hill Giant Herdgorger, force a chump maybe, and then keep up some blockers. Because he can activate the Hall and then run me over if I'm not careful. So, and which card do I want to trade for? I think I want to trade for the Chaos Channeler here, so he can start making 1/1s with this stupid deck of many things. So this is kind of scary. Yeah, I guess he can make 2 1/1s. Yeah, this is bad. And then he also, I guess he can only play this. He can play this next turn or until end of turn. I'm not sure. Not sure if this is correct. I could be completely wrong. Maybe I need to keep the 7/6 back now to trade for the Hall and just attack with the Jin now. I mean, he's just gonna own me. Yeah, this is bad. So he's gonna kill me. Yeah, I think you have it. You have it, Mr. Higashi. You got it. Jesus Christ. Okay. Alright, I mean, he had a pretty bad mole. So how about bounce? So this hand seems okay. I can't believe he mulled to 4 and got me there. I don't really think we need to change much of anything. Random spoils the hunt. I guess we might want to kill things instead of bouncing things. So I could see cutting a U come to a river and maybe playing spoils, or we just maybe got really unlucky because he used the Dragon Fires that game and got us. So maybe we should still run the same build. And in the meantime, he just played better than me. Probably shouldn't have used the removal spell end of turn. Go play. And this hand doesn't seem great, but I'll keep. Eventually I can give this Pack Tactics if it survives. Brazen Dwarf, okay. We can pump this next turn attack, but I might prefer to do Contact Under Plane. But this does enable Pack Tactics growing the Null Hunter. It is pretty mana inefficient, but maybe it's still worth doing. I mean, I don't really want to spend mana. Ranger's class is great though, so maybe it's worth doing since I can develop a Ranger's class. So you know what, I'll activate the Direwolf Prowler. Maybe he's going to use removal on the Direwolf Prowler. I guess he's going to tap it down, sure. I mean, it's not the worst, because worst case scenario, I can still play a Ranger's class, which is pretty good. And no attacks. And then I can start attacking with maybe the 2/2. I mean, I could trade here, it's not the worst. But it does make it a little bit harder to enable Pack Tactics. I mean, the question is, do I stay back all day, or do I eventually attack? Maybe I can wait one more extra turn, just take 2 for now. And then we can keep up maybe some instances. I could activate this, but I might want to do that next turn. I mean, activating this isn't the worst because it is actually quite mana efficient too, so I can level up and keep up Spoils of the Hunt. Which is maybe probably worth it here, so I'll attack. Maybe we'll see a removal spell in response. And then I could also Spoils of the Hunt here on the Arcane Investigator. Because I'm not going to be using my mana anyway, so I might as well do this. And then we can just activate Ranger's class and gain a ton of value. Shin Windseer, pretty good. So his game plan might just be to try to kill me ASAP. So I do need to be careful. Can activate this. I mean, pumping this and attacking isn't the worst. Yeah, I think I'll do that. And then I can attack with both. Trigger Pack Tactics. Might be more interested in putting a counter on here, so it becomes a 4/4. So he needs to double block it, or the Direwolf Prowler. I mean, he's gonna double block this anyway, so I think we put counters here, and I can activate this or contact other plane next turn. Can cast contact other plane or Rangers class. Contact could be better. Just a scry and draw 2 could be more important, so I think I'll keep up my instance here and take it from there. The Hall is also kind of scary. He can eventually cast this one more turn. So, yeah, I'll take it. Just draw 2, not the most amazing, but serviceable. Blue Dragon is pretty nice. Underdark Basilisk is also nice, but Blue Dragon's pretty nice here. And he doesn't really matter. Let's lock this down, and then we'll say go. If he makes a giant, I could just double block it, which is not the best, but maybe it's something I might have to do. Shin Windseer can play Underdark Basilisk to hold off the Storm God's Oracle. I need to tap correctly though. Might want to keep the You Come to River though. Still, maybe it's fine playing this. Not sure. You contact other plane. Number 2 seems okay. I could attack for 5, and I don't hate it because I can trade for the rest of these perhaps. And hitting for 16 there is pretty nice. So I'll try this, and then maybe we can. And you know, his ground forces aren't too scary. The only thing that I'm actually scared of is the Hall, and maybe the Swarming Goblins. But we can trade this with the 3/3. I guess he might have removal for this. Okay, so I definitely want to block here. Could just take 4 here and trade here. I could also block the 4/3, which isn't the worst. Yeah. I mean, yeah, sure, he can activate the Oracle, but we do have the bounce spell up, which could be useful. Burning Hands. Okay, I don't understand that. Oops. Alright. So yeah, he does have the Scion. You Come to River actually isn't too bad against his deck. Just the efficiency of it could be nice, especially with double spoils. Scion could be better than Direwolf Prowler. Direwolf Prowler does threaten to activate the pump for a Null Hunter, so I guess we'll still run it. Not a great hand. Late game card, Ray of Frost could be fine if he's playing red, but overall not enough pressure. So I think we mulligan, and then this is also not a great hand, but I'll keep. We'll bomb a forest this time. Hopefully we don't draw too many lands. And I can't believe I lost that first game as well. It's pretty embarrassing, but so be it. Clever Conjurer seems okay. And probably see a removal spell in the turn, but I'm still fine if he wants to kill this. Wouldn't probably see a Dragon's Fire, yep. Arcane, so opponent missing his land drops, okay. Guess now I can play the Direwolf Prowler and stay back. I can pump next turn and kill something with 4 toughness, which could be reasonable. Probably no reason to block. Hoping he plays like Farida or something. Nothing? Okay. I guess I'll just attack and play the Rhyme Shield Frost Giant. Hopefully no counterspell. Didn't see counterspells in the previous matchup, so this is... Also has Ward 3, which is difficult to deal with, so hopefully no counterspell. And as I say that, he plays a counterspell. At least it's not targeting my removal spell, so not the worst, but also not the best. Okay, so this is a totally reasonable, fine, reasonable kill. Can cast Contact Utter Plane, but we just want to pump here and then use Spoils. Can Contact Utter Planes and use Spoils next turn as well. Okay, yeah, we'll attack. And I think I want to play Null Hunter and keep up an instant. Do I Contact Utter Plane now? No, not really. Don't want to give him too much info. Probably no reason to block here. Could see a counterspell my Contact, which could be kind of rude. But Scry 2, Draw 2 is nice. No need for lands, so we'll bomb both. Hopefully we don't top deck the Dragon, which costs 7 mana. Wandering Troubadour is nice, plus land, so we'll name blue here. What is this? Yeah, we'll reveal it. Doesn't really matter, and we'll name blue. Could pump. Yeah, I could just pump main phase and attack. He's probably going to use the removal spell on it, but so be it. I mean, I had to bait it out eventually, right? And he could just use this to draw a card. Sure. Yeah. Probably not going to attack with a Null Hunter now. Just play the Wandering Troubadour, play a 1-drop, and then venture and pass the turn. Probably want to scry 1. Yep. Land isn't the worst, although, I mean, it's not great. I mean, I'm not trying to evolve to a land, and the fact that this can also just get a land next turn is also decent, so I don't mind just staying back here. Question is, do I trade for the Wandering Troubadour? Probably not. I don't even want to use removal on this, because he's holding up so much instant speed shenanigans that I could just get completely blown out, so I gotta be careful. Oh, yeah, that's annoying. I guess now I can kill this. I still get value off of the land. I guess Ranger's Class is really sweet here, so what we can do now is we can cast Ranger's Class. We can pump it. And then I could activate, I don't really need to activate the 4th ability. I think I'm more interested in just sacrificing this, getting a land so we can trigger the Troubadour. And then attack, give this a counter. And then he can't really block here, and then we get to trigger the Troubadour, and then I think we want to make a 1/1 Goblin. Brazen Dwarf, so I can attack with the Null Hunter and the Wolf. So he's probably keep him in instance, no doubt. But I could also just use Ray of Frost here, which is not the worst. It will allow me to attack. He's probably playing to double block the Null Hunter. Attacking with all isn't the worst either. He eats this, and then we can make a 2/2. And if he has an instant, I can just kind of blow him out in a sense. So how much mana do we have? 5, 6, 7, 8. So I can't really activate and use Spoils at the same time. I think I want to do the second main. I also don't mind just Ray of Frosting this 1/3 right now. Maybe that's worth it, just to get this annoying blocker out of the way, and then we can still attack and then trigger Pack Tactics and attack past the Arcane Investigator. Fireball. I mean, I don't. This is gonna die anyways, so I guess I'll just let it resolve. He does get to ping me twice with the Brazen Dwarf, so doing a little bit of damage here. We do get to lock down his abilities, can move the combat. I think I attack with both. I don't really care taking 2 from this opponent, and then we'll pump the 2/2. Opponent trades for the token, that's good. And then we'll just activate this, and then we can look at creatures from the top. We can cast creatures from the top of our library, which is great. Hopefully nothing too scary. Deck of many things is pretty scary. At least this ability is locked down, so we can't deal damage. This is a good card, but we'll just kill it next turn, okay? So we'll just cast Spoils here. Troubadour takes out Farida. Play land. Attack. And what do we want to do here? Make him lose a life? Draw 2, that's pretty good. Just Brazen Dwarf, not the scariest. Okay, Find the Path is also not the scariest. At least we're forcing the chump here. Draw cards, not bad. Arcane Investigator, also not that bad. 6, just return a random card to his hand. And that's an okay random card, so that's just going to buy more time. But we can just go to Tomb of Annihilation here, and we can just win the game. And yep. I think I know Chris Higashi in real life. Seems okay. I'm typing to Higashi right now. He's popular around the Magic community here in the U.S. and in Las Vegas. Definitely a great player. Alright, double enchantments, sure. I might just cast Find the Path. I mean, if I cast Find the Path, what happens? I guess that'll allow me to ramp out into 5 mana. Like, I don't think a Dire Wolf probably is going to do much this early on, so I think it's better to just cast Find the Path here, and then I think what we want to do is maybe scry one, since we aren't really venturing constantly. Next turn we can play Null Hunter into maybe Direwolf Prowler, which can be a cute combo. So I don't actually hate keeping this on top. 3-drop and a 2-drop could be nice. And then eventually we will cast our bigger stuff. Opponent's also just playing a slow game right here. Not really developing much. And I'm not really scared of the Barbarian class. So the black-red deck, at least he's been playing the clutches against us, which could be kind of scary. This is green, right? Yep. Make sure I don't tap the wrong mana. And then land off the top would be nice for the Herd Gorger. And I mean, I guess if I get land, I'd rather just pump the Prowler, trigger Pack Tactics, and play the Jhin. Pricey removal spell, okay. Opponent valuing the Wolf because it can enable Pack Tactics. But opponent is playing a grindy game here, okay. Herd Gorger seems nice. This card's only decent if you're aggressive, but opponent isn't really that aggressive. Yeah, we'll just kill this. Enable Pack Tactics and play Jhin. So opponent doesn't really have any blocks, and we can just dish out a ton of damage in the meantime. I'm actually happy with these chumps. Hopefully no Sphere of Annihilation or anything dumb. But you would need a ton of mana to at least take out the Hill Gorger. Spoils is nice, I'll keep that on top. Yeah, the opponent doesn't have any tempo. And yeah, as long as we can just keep killing his stuff and clearing a path with our creatures, then we should be good. That's a good one. So definitely going to sacrifice an island. Yeah, we'll sacrifice an island and we'll kill this. Yeah, this card isn't useful unless you are on the aggro game plan, so it's a little bit hard to get going. But Spoils on the top was really nice, and we should be able to win this game. Since the opponent's also just playing a slow grindy deck. And cards like the 2-mana bounce spell is also pretty decent. Yeah, I don't think this is going to do anything. He can attack and venture, but he's pretty much dead here. Unless there's a 1-mana spell that can give me -4. And there's no reason to show him any cards, we'll just attack. I need to take a snapshot for Higashi here. One moment here, guys. Just trying to showcase some snapshots. Alright, no blue mana, but we're on a draw. I mean, it's going to be a disaster if I don't get blue mana, but double Null Hunter could be fine. At the worst case scenario, I trade these off and these buy me enough time to get my blue mana. If I don't draw it, but I'm kind of banking that I'll eventually do it. So Hoarding Robber is a really good card. If he has removal, that's going to be a problem. So I think I don't need to prioritize the Underdark Basilisk here, even though it could potentially trade off for the Hoarding Robber if he has removal. I don't want this to die. I'd rather have the Null Hunter die. So yeah, okay. This is what I was kind of expecting. Okay, Boots of Speed is scary, especially with the Horde Robber, so now I don't really feel content playing the Null Hunter here, because he can just attack past it. So I think the Basilisk is better, and I'm fine trading off for the Horde Robber so he doesn't go off with it. If he does play a larger creature and give it haste, I'm definitely going to trade off for it, but not against a Horde Robber. Okay, Swarming Goblins, I'll definitely trade off for. Luckily he sacked the treasure for it too. But yeah, I'm not really hitting my land drops, so this could just be an easy loss. On the draw, couldn't hit a land, but I mean, I can still stabilize a bit, hopefully. And then by stabilizing a bit, okay, yeah, this is scary with the Hoarding Robber, so he might just be dead here. Because, yeah, this with Horde Robber and the boots is pretty gross. The fact that he can just constantly ramp out treasures is pretty gross and disgusting, so yeah, this is not going to be easy. He can happily give this haste and just keep chipping in for 2. So I definitely need some lands. Do I trade for a token? Probably not. Doesn't seem worth it. Maybe it's worth it here at this stage of the game. Otherwise, I'll just be taking too much damage. I just trade a token for a card, so not in the best position, but I'm also not drawing my lands, so I'm hoping we can resolve this issue. And we're just going to lose here, so never mind. I mean, if we had mana, we could at least kept up a Hunter's Mark and stabilized, but that was just bad luck. And I don't think I'm changing much of anything. Just make sure I hit my land drops. 15s. So how many lands is it? 17? Yeah, and we do have some ramps, so this is an unfortunate game. I don't think I need to change much. Kind of a risky keep, but so I need to know the opponent is aggressive and fast, so I definitely want to be on play first. And yeah, this hand is a lot better than the previous one. Gotta keep in mind, opponent also has Dragonfire, but I still think I leave the Null Hunter because the Direwolf with the Null Hunter is pretty scary. And the opponent plays a Barbarian. Okay, I guess this is the same opponents, never mind, that we played against last time. But he just had a better start, and I didn't. And this Ray of Frost can answer the 6/6, or any other large creatures that can be kind of scary, so yeah, we'll just be mana efficient here. Direwolf Prowler seems good, and then we can still attack with it as a 4/4 and then play Underdark Basilisk the following turn. And if he wants to just activate this, that's fine. It doesn't really accomplish much. Alright, sure, it's not going to die. I guess he just prevents damage, but that doesn't really accomplish anything. I mean, I'll take a free card. Paladin, I could be interested in killing. Definitely a scary card, so maybe I will kill it. And yeah, I think I'd rather... do I want to use Hunter's Mark or Spoils? Given that I already have a Death Touch creature, I think I'm fine using Hunter's Mark. Maybe just to gain the extra damage, or maybe it's better to use Spoils since I get to pump the Direwolf Prowler. And the question is, do I attack for the Underdark Basilisk? Yeah. You could put a Swarming Goblins and give it haste, which can be pretty annoying. Horde Robber, make a treasure. Sure. I can keep this back next turn to block the Horde Robber. I guess maybe he can give his creature Menace, right? Oh, he needs to roll a dice to give it Menace, so it's not that great. Fine, I'll just activate this and attack for 4. And keep the Underdark Basilisk back so he doesn't make a ton of mana. I mean, he might play a dice roll spell to give this Menace, but I don't really care. Westgate Region is a bomb. Okay, that's a little bit annoying. So I probably want to empty my hand before I deal with this. So I think it's important for me to just fire off the Ray of Frost. Oh, okay, I guess, I mean, Yeah, I guess. So I could tap this down and lose my Ray of Frost. I think it's better to just take 4. This becomes an 8/8, and then Hunter's Mark with my Underdark Basilisk to get rid of it. So yeah, I'll take it because at least I can fire off the Ray of Frost on 3, and then hopefully nothing happens here. Just use my mana, and I can use this to take out the 8/8. Worst case scenario, he kills this because he's just holding up the mana from the treasures, and he would have used his removal spell by now, I have to imagine. So I don't really care. We'll get blue, and then we'll probably play the card next turn. Find a path into Hunter's Mark, sure. We shove enough mana still, yep. And then hopefully I can Hunter's Mark the 8/8s, otherwise I'm just going to lose here. So please don't have anything, opponent. Please. I'm begging you. Resolve. Resolve. I guess this can't be countered, so never mind. Okay, Feign Death. Okay, that's annoying, so it's just going to come back with a counter, so I think it's just game. Yeah, it's just game over here. I can't beat the Westgate Regent. Okay. Just a complete bomb. Yeah, I should have used Hunter's Mark on it. Yeah, I guess he drew into the Feign Death, but I also didn't have enough mana that turn to cast a Hunter's Mark anyways at instant speed, since I have an Evolving Wilds. But if I didn't have the Evolving Wilds and I could have cast it, and he didn't have that Feign Death in his hand, I would definitely maybe gotten rid of it. But yeah, it's hard. That definitely was a pretty rough match. But yeah, one more win and I can maybe get 2 draft tokens, but I still got 1 to make up for the first loss, so let's keep playing. Apologize for the sound I'm eating. So I'll probably put myself in mute. This is definitely not a keepable hand. Could be a Grim Wanderer. I should have been careful. Usually Grim Wanderer is the card I should be careful of, so maybe I shouldn't have attacked, but I had a backup under Dark Basilisk, so I didn't really see the reason why we shouldn't attack that turn, and then I'll keep any land I have on top. 2, Rangers class, everything I keep on top, so it's pretty good. Probably fine developing the board. Could also contact other plane to hit my land drop, which is probably fine, since I did miss this land drop this turn, so Scry 2 Draw 2 seems pretty good. And do I want Null Hunter? Probably not necessary, since I do have the Rangers class already, and then a bunch of stuff I can play on too. Just want to curve out here and make sure I don't miss any land drops, which can allow me to fall far behind if I don't get any lands. So yeah, pretty unfortunate opponent. But yeah. Currently 3-1, so not bad. I got 2 draft tokens, so maybe we can fire this off again. And yep, hopefully we can get to 6, which would definitely be the dream, and we'll get a ton of packs. So this draft challenge, I think the value is definitely worth it, if you're not afraid of losing gems, that is, and exchanging them for draft tokens. So this is a good format just for people who just only do draft, basically. Someone like me will appreciate it. We'll play. And Neverwinter Dryad, Null Hunter, Wandering Troubadour all seems decent. We can always sack this on turn 3, or we can sack this on turn 2 and get down to Wandering Troubadour. Maybe that's just better. And that's probably better, since we can get out earlier and get more value off of the venture. So yeah, we'll greet the opponent and pass, and the turn we can sack this, get a land out, play a land, play Wandering Troubadour. Yeah, we'll sack this. Like, sure, I'll take 3, but I think it's worth ramping. And I don't really want to trade a Neverwinter Dryad. I mean, trading this would be fine, but still, like, this is just great. And if we can venture again, we can make a 1-1 if we go to the Lost Mine of Pandelver. So definitely want to scry so I can get more action off the top. Clever Conjurer is okay, so we can turn 3, next turn we can play Clever Conjurer into Null Hunter, could be fine. Not the best, but also not the worst. And then we can also make a 1-1 if this survives, in order to hold off the Hobgoblin Captain in the meantime. If he has removal, this will be unfortunate. And here he probably has a Burning Hands, yep. So we probably need to trade off for this Hobgoblin Captain, because it's just going to deal too much damage. And the question is, which one do I trade off? Probably, maybe the Clever Conjurer or the Null Hunter. Like, we're more of a late game deck. I don't feel like we're going to get a ton of value off of just enabling pack tactics. We currently don't have any creatures, and this can potentially help us ramp out a dragon or double spell. If we top deck a card draw spell, like the Contact Under Plane. So it could be a reasonable trading off for the Hobgoblin Captain here over the Clever Conjurer. I could also double block, but if he has a removal spell, that's kind of weird. So I think we just trade for the Null Hunter. And then if I draw Contact Under Plane and that allows me to draw cards, then Clever Conjurer would be great. But if I top deck a big creature, which, you know, would have played well with the Null Hunter, maybe that was the wrong idea, but I still think this might have a little bit more upside. And if he wants to use a removal spell, that's also fine. So you won't be able to use on any of my other large creatures. And yeah, we're just flooding here, so kind of unfortunate. And the opponent's card quality is pretty high. All these cards here are all first pickable, so Swarming Goblin's also great. So kind of on the back foot here, especially with the Warlock class against us. And we're probably going to be forced to trade off this Direwolf Prowler, unfortunately. So it goes. Just not the best opening hand, and we just couldn't we just flooded out a little bit too much. But we're not in the worst spot. Definitely not in a great spot either, but not the worst spot. Price, yeah, you can have it. He's definitely going to have a sack. There's no reason for me to pump it, otherwise I'm taking unnecessary damage. Probably going to see a removal spell like Price's Loyal Dispute on this. And if he just wants to get in for attack, that's totally fine as well. Yeah, he'll sack the second main. So opponent has a Dream Black-Red deck, pretty much, so this is not going to be easy. But I kind of expected it, and yeah, I don't think a single Null Hunter is going to defeat this, so... Alright, maybe this is the Bane. The Black-Red deck, the every single card quality is just really high. I don't think there was any card in his that he played so far that I saw that I would be against. And yeah, I guess we might just run this again. Rare Frost seems pretty good against red, and then hopefully we just get a better hand next time. But we flooded out a little bit too much, and opponent just had too much removal. Got one Trigger Adventure off of their Wandering Troubadour, but still wasn't great. And then this seems fine. I think I want green more than blue, because we don't have... the only double blue is a dragon, which we'll eventually find, I think. Or I can name blue over green, since a Clever Conjurer can just untap, and we have more green than blue anyways in the deck. So maybe it's fine naming blue here. We'll decline. We don't need to show him the dragon. Not this early in the game. Otherwise, he'll save his removal spell for the Wandering Troubadour. Man, yeah, this is another good one drop. So, do I block this? I mean, he might just do this just to get a treasure. Maybe it's not worth it. Because if he's able to ramp out the big guy, the 4-mana 4/4, that isn't great. Goblin Morningstar, okay. So I probably want to start getting value off of this Wandering Troubadour. As much as I like to maybe save it, I think it's important to just get it going ASAP. Otherwise, it's never going to do anything. And I might as well just do it now, so... Could attack and trade. That's also not the worst, but this also blocks the 2/1 if this dies, so... Probably not trading here. I think we're the more defensive deck. And then probably want to do Lost Mine here, and then scry any lands we want on the bottom. Spoils is great, we'll keep it. And then we can make a 1/1 and go from there. Or we can make even more treasures to ramp. Probably want more treasures at this stage in the game. We can always bounce the token with You Come to a River as well. So I might untap a land next turn after I play the Jin Windseer. But we probably see a removal spell here, okay? So I'm probably fine playing out the Jin and untapping a land. I could also attack for 2 here. But first things first, let's play the Jin Windseer first. And it's probably still not worth attacking. Find a Path. Could be alright. If I cast Find a Path next turn, I still can't cast any spells. So I think I'll bomb it, and I'd rather just have lands. And then we will untap You Come to River maybe, or maybe not. Maybe it's not even necessary. Yeah, you know what? Let's untap You Come to River in case he has removal. So I can at least save my Jin Windseer or bounce a token. So if I block, he uses a pump spell, I can bounce. If he tries to use removal, I can bounce. This is a totally fine, reasonable creature for me to take out. I think I can cast You Come to the River now. Next turn, I'm probably playing to kill this anyways next turn. So maybe it's fine keeping this You Come to a River just in case to protect my Jin. So I'll say go. Ryan, I guess the Frost Giant can help block this 4/3 instead. Could just develop that. Could just kill this. Or maybe save this for something better. I think I'd rather just play this. And then we can attack for 3. And then I can also untap the Jin Windseer. Probably not. Just say go. He's probably going to equip the Morningstar in this and hit me for 5, which is still okay. I think I'm fine with that. and then we can just swing back for more. Next following turn, this has Ward 3, so that's difficult to deal with if he wants to spend his whole turn moving equipment, or spend 2 mana to move the equipment and develop something less powerful, that's also fine. If he attacks with a 4-3, the question is, do I block it? It's not the worst case scenario, like let's say he does have a pump spell to get rid of this, I mean it still results in a trade. But the fact that this holds off the 4-3 is also really nice, so that's really sweet. Guess we'll just try to kill him in the air quickly. Land is good, so we can keep up the rest of our spells. So I'll attack for 3, and then stay back with the rest. And then keep up all my other instances. Take it there. Take it slow. So he's probably planning to move the Goblin Morningstar. I can probably kill the creature once he moves it, and then have him waste his whole turn. And I think it's worth doing. Okay, so he's going to move it here. So he probably wants to venture. Yeah, I'm fine if he wants to attack here. I could bounce the Clattering Skeleton. It's not a bad bounce target, given that it's so expensive, and then he won't be able to cast it next turn. And then this way I can still cast Contact Other Plane, so I think it's fine bouncing it. I can also bounce the Goblin Morningstar and kill the Clattering Skeleton, but I think just getting rid of bouncing this back to his hand and not having him the ability to cast it is fine. And then we'll cast Contact Other Plane. Wouldn't need any more lands, definitely bottom both of these, and then hopefully we get some more goodies. Hilljohn Herdgorger is fantastic. Definitely don't want to attack with a 4-5, so we'll keep attacking in the air. And then the Giant is nice. And then we can start crashing the Giant if we want to, and then he's just forced to chump all day. However, if he has removal for the Jin, that can be a little bit problematic, so I think we might need to start attacking on the ground, just to get something going. Probably see a removal spell here, but we can still hold off the 4-3. At least it's not a removal spell for the flyer, but this might imply he has a removal spell for the flyer. Null Hunter could be nice, so I could Null Hunter. I guess I could Direwolf Prowler. Yeah, I guess I'll play Direwolf Prowler and attack for 3 and then keep up spoils of the hunt. And I will untap the land. And then we'll say go. Just having a removal spell activation up is really important. And then this can also just gain pack tactics next turn as well. We can pump the Direwolf Prowler as well, so that's pretty good. And we can try blow him up if he tries to do a double block. Luckily, this opponent didn't have his Warlock class early, and we managed to stabilize against him. So we'll just see what he does here. Definitely don't want to block this, because we don't want to give him a treasure. And and I'm actually happy that he's attacking, since he won't be able to chump and make a treasure. Vampire Spawn is okay. Hobgoblin Captain is also okay. Could just attack with Fall next turn. Could cast Spoils here. He only has 1 mana open. And it's not the worst, so yeah, we'll cast Spoils. Get rid of this Swarming Goblins. And then I'm fine attacking next turn. So yeah, we don't have to do anything. We'll just attack with All, I think. Enable Pack Tactics, and then we can pump the Direwolf if we want. The 3-1 is probably going to block the 3-3. He's probably going to chump the 4-5 and take it from there. This is just a good time, a window to attack with All, because he's all tapped out, and then we just want to clear his board. So then he just can't come back. And we shove enough mana to cast our dragon, so keep land in hand even if he has a discard ability, the discard card. Opponent's cards are definitely high quality. Probably the worst card I've seen so far is Clattering Skeleton, but you know, it's not a big deal if you need a filler 4-drop, and if you don't have the 4 mana 3/3 ogres that rolls dice. So not gonna lie, the card quality is pretty high from the opponent. He's probably gonna block this Clever Conjurer in a 1/1. I can still kill a 1/1. So I don't mind if he blocks this. Okay, that's fine too. And then we can still pump the Dire Prowler. So definitely want to kill the Vampire Spawn in the 1/1 tokens. I could also just take out all the 1/1 tokens, which is still probably not what I want to do. So I think I want to take out the Vampire Spawn and pump here. And then put him down to 1, which is great. And we'll see go. I'm hoping he doesn't have removal for my flyer, because this game could get a little bit tricky. Probably has removal, and if he does, it's game. It's not game over. It's just going to be a slow grind. I would need to top deck another flyer, or go wide enough to kill him. I can still pump the Direwolf Prowler as well. Hopefully, I don't top deck 2 lands in a row, because like he can put 2 creatures in front of Clever Conjurer and kill it, since this can give this neg 1, and then he can play the Clattering Skeleton to trade for my 2/2. There was the argument for just taking out the Vampire Spawn, but the Vampire Spawn stayed on the battlefield. The Clever Conjurer also wouldn't be able to attack through it, so I think killing this was still fine, as well as a token. So we'll probably see a removal spell here, and then he's going to double block Clever Conjurer, kill it, and then chump with a 1/1. Wow, Meteor Swarm. Alright, that's rough. I'll just activate this anyways, just in case, but yeah, this is rough. Alright, so he can attack with... He's probably going to stay back with Shambling Gas and Lisa 1/1 here, because, yeah. Contact Other Plane was a really nice pickup. Draw 2, so don't get the Scry. But Ranger's Class is a bomb, so that's pretty nice. And then we can just maybe force him to trade. And it's only 2 mana to activate, so yeah, I'll just activate this here. And then force him to trade off all of his tokens, so that's pretty good. So he's going to put everything in front of this. I will lose Clever Conjurer, but he loses all 3 creatures, which is important. So that was a pretty nice top deck, and then this can also just give me card advantage later, so not bad. Still not out of the woodworks yet, but the opponent's definitely playing a lot of scary bombs. Baleful Beholder makes me sack my enchantments. That's really rough. Okay. Yeah, and a land is not what I want to draw, so this could just be game over if if I can't top deck any removal. So I need to kind of go wide here in a sense. So I need a good string of draws, even though I drew both my Contact Other Planes already. And how many lands do I have left in the library? I have, this is 8, 9, 10. So I have 7 more lands left. Yeah, we're probably not going to block this Baleful Beholder. He's going to play his 4-drop. So I need to find a way to maybe kill this and then get in for 2. I do have a Hunter's Mark. Ray of Frost can lock down the Baleful Beholder at least, but doesn't stop the Clattering Skeleton, so we'll just say go. At least I'm not taking 7 per turn, but still not in a good spot. If I had removal to get rid of this, that would be great, but alright, just need to maybe take a couple of hits, hopefully, and follow up some creatures to make them stay back. But the Meteor Swarm was just a complete blowout. I mean, it wasn't a complete blowout. I guess I still have a chance of winning, but definitely did a lot of work. Hopefully, no way to get rid of Ray of Frost, because that's going to be really annoying. Price of Loyalty to untap it. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I guess I'll take 7. I mean, I'm not winning if I chump, so that's not a bad play. But I could also, it could also be lethal if he has his own Price of Loyalty next turn, steals my creature and kills me. Basilisk is nice, so we'll just say go, and then hopefully he doesn't have anything. I can still chump at least if he has a steal effect, and then hit him back with my Underdark Basilisk. Power word kill him. I'll take 4, and I'm hoping he stays back, because I'm definitely going to attack if he attacks here. I'm not blocking for sure. Oh wow, another price. Okay, I guess I'm forced to chump now. Okay, I guess it was lethal. He didn't have to do that. He could have just stolen my 2/2. Oh, never mind. Oh, this had trample. Okay, GG's opponent. Wow. Okay, all right, that was a pretty intense match, but went 3-2. So, and by the way, we still got a good amount of value off of this draft, so I think we'll just fire off another one. Yeah, I forgot that Goblin Morningstar gave trample, so either way, even if he, yeah, I don't know what he did. I forgot. Did he? So he killed my Basilisk. Yeah, he could have stolen my 2/2, but I think he just wanted to be safe to untap his 7/5. But anyways, we still got 2 tokens out of it, so still not bad, and a good amount of booster packs. So we'll crack some packs. Pack one, pick one. Hunter's Mark definitely over the Purple Worm, which is a good card, but still, I prefer the removal spell. I mean, Price of Loyalty if I want to force black-red, but sometimes it is an open, and Hunter's Mark is just more versatile, which is a great removal spell. Would probably take Price over the Worm, not sure. If it was still pack one, pick one, given how powerful black-red is, but easy Dragon's Fire. Second pick would be Hobgoblin Captain. Tilrasa, never mind. Inferno's a bomb. Take this, and then second pick is probably Tilrasa. Trelasara, I mean, since it's just one of the more important uncommons if you do end up in the white-green life gain deck. Ray of Enfeeblement is also fine, good card against white, and also decent combat trick, but can be hit or miss sometimes. I mean, Price is obviously great in black-red. Dragon's Fire versus Burning Hands. Burning Hands has more upside if we play against a green opponent, but Dragon's Fire does the extra damage. I would probably still take the removal spell over Flame Skull. Like, Flame Skull is good, but the fact that it can't block is not great. Is not that great, and it's better to just have premium straight removal. Yeah, maybe I would take the Burning Hands just because it has a slight upside over green. And for the most part, when you're using Dragon's Fire, you're mostly killing 2 toughness creatures. Although you do run across the 3 toughness creatures at the same time. So maybe still take Dragon's Fire. There's like cards like Jin Windseer, which are problematic in this set that you want to get rid of. I don't know. It's rough between Burning Hands and Dragon's Fire. It's one of them is arguable over the other one, but maybe Burning Hands, since there's a lot of big green creatures that you don't mind killing, and Mind Flayer is a bomb. Second pick would be Priest, and then Krydo will probably be a third pick, which is a fun deck. Blue-black is pretty fun, but not the easiest to get going. And then Varus is a bomb, but yeah. Do we just do another draft? I guess I will, since there's enough time in this video. And hopefully we can maybe get up to 6 wins. I guess we can't use draft tokens. Oh, that sucks. Okay, I guess we can only use it for Premier Draft, but we can't use... Yeah, but we can't use it for the challenge, so that kind of sucks. So let's see if I can do this, use the tokens for Premier Draft. And I guess it only works for Premier Draft anyway, so... Anyways, regardless, it's still 2 draft tokens. But I guess I guess 3K gems is basically 2 drafts. So basically, I just won back my 3K gems in a sense. So I guess we didn't really gain value off of doing the draft challenge, but still got back our stuff. So not the worst result. And pack one, pick one. AFR Draft, pretty bad rare. Ooh, Hunter's Mark is great. Just Druid class if I want to force the white-green life gain deck. Tiger Tribe Hunter is pretty good too, even in black-red. Sometimes you can just steal something and they will pack tactics and make them sacrifice it. But it's a 5-drop, which can be kind of clunky. There's some other good red cards, Plundering Barbarians, Swarming Goblins, Hill Giants, but I think I'm eyeing this Hunter's Mark. And even though green is the second worst color, this removal spell is just great. Especially against opposing blue players, this just costs 1 generic and it also can't be countered. Also pumps your creature, so I'll take a Hunter's Mark. If Hunter's Mark wasn't in this pack, probably take Tiger Tribe Hunter or Druid class. It really depends. Like, this is much more of a gamble. If you are in the white-green life gain deck is bad, whereas Tiger Tribe Hunter, you can still play this in any red deck. But I'll take a Hunter's Mark here. Just good, solid removal is never wrong. And red-green is also one of the better archetypes, so I don't mind leaning towards green. I think it's the second best. Trilasara is great, but there's also Den of the Bugbear if I want to stay open. There's also Cleric class. Like, this will be a little bit more speculative, since there's a chance that if I take it here, the Cleric class won't wheel. We are in green already, but maybe it's still better to take the Den of the Bugbear and stay open with red. So I think I'll take this, and this is just a good creature spell land in the late game. Otherwise, I would take Trelisara and maybe speculate on the white-green life gain deck. But again, red-green is one of the better archetypes, so I don't mind taking the Den here. And if this wasn't his pack, I would probably take Trelisara. Other good commons include Hoarding Ogre, Charm Sleep, Plundering Barbarian. But yeah, we'll take the Den. I don't think I want to commit myself into 2 colors right away. There's a chance that either green or red could be cut off, and I don't want to fall into that category. And if I do end up in a life gain deck, I mean, yeah, and if I do, and if the life gain deck also isn't open and someone else is drafting it, the power level is not as high as I would imagine, so I'd rather just stay flexible. If I do see a Lurking Roper, however, that might change my mind. And Claim is great. No amazing green cards. Had we stuck with the Trelisara, we'd be looking at Veteran Dungeoneer, or maybe you find a Curse Idol, but Claim is good, and that allows me to lean towards a Black-Red Sacrifice deck, or Treasures deck. We can even try to splash for the Hunter's Mark. Even though it's better with larger creatures, it could be serviceable, but we'll take a Claim, Reclusive Painter. And then, yeah, pretty late Priest, but there's also the Sepulchre Ghoul, which is great as well. And we just picked up Claim, so I think we want to lean towards Black-Red in this set as much as possible, and hopefully we can pick up some Price of Loyalties to go along with the Sepulchre Ghoul. Otherwise, Priest would be probably the best card in this pack, but I'll still take Sepulchre Ghoul. So I guess a green-white life gain deck could have been a thing, because we also saw the Claim in that last pack. But I guess we're kind of committed here. But that's fine. Earthcult Elemental is a fine top-end card. Ray of Frost, Monk class are pretty solid. Monk class is a fun card too. Like, it's just card advantage in the late game once you activate level 3, and then level 2 just bounces something. But usually you don't end up in this deck unless it's super wide open. But Earthcult Elemental seems fine. Great Curve Topper, and then we'll take a Shambling Ghast. Although, never mind. Price of Loyalty I think is more important than Shambling Ghast. Just a great removal spell, and then hopefully we can pick up more sack synergies. Just gotta take my first copy over Shambling Ghast. But other good cards include Fly, Clever Conjurer, but price it is. So how we stuck with the life gain deck, it would have been fine, but I still think we're better off doing the black-red thing, seeing the late Price of Loyalty, and then being past Claim and Sepulchre Ghoul from my right-hand side, so I'm quite happy actually just being in the black-red deck. So staying open I think was worth it. Like, if we're in white-green, we would have had the Priest, maybe Trelisara, maybe some Bull Strengths. Another overperformer in this set is Vampire Spawn. This card, I've been reading the 17 lands data, actually one of the more overperforming commons. So I'll take it here. It's a fine blocker. Can sometimes sneak in that last burn damage in the late game, help you stabilize a bit. Jade Sellsword with Claim is also a cute combo, but Jaded Sellsword isn't a great card by itself. Even with a treasure coming in the haste is okay. It just trades down often, so I'll take a Vampire Spawn. Guess I'll take a Hired Hexblade. If I make a treasure, I can draw a card off of it, which is, again, nothing exciting, but I'll take it. Yeah, I'll play another 6-drop. Sometimes it's not wrong. There's also the Treasure Vault. It doesn't tap for mana, but I could still play it. Like, the fact that this can sack for treasures could be nice, but it's a little bit difficult to get going. Requires a ton of mana to be invested, so I'll take another Earthbolt Elemental. And then Plundering Barbarian is a perfectly reasonable 3-drop. Also wouldn't mind Zombie Ogre on 5, but Plundering Barbarian helps us ramp. Also destroys artifacts, which can come up. There's also Veteran Dungeoneer, which is an overperform in the set as well, but we're not in those colors, and we'll take the best card. Miracle Elemental, Clever Conjurer late, so blue's open, because everyone knows blue's bad, but we still have a good black red start, and I'll definitely take Skullport Merchant over Hive and Warlock class here. But if this was pack 1 pick 1, yeah, I would take Skullport. I think it just has the highest upside over the rest of these other black cards. And then yeah, I would probably take Warlock class over Hive. Hive is fine. It's one of those spell lands like Den of the Bugbear, but usually exiling something from the graveyard isn't amazing, and a 3/3 menace can just get double blocked in the late game. So it's not like a fantastic card, whereas I think Warlock class overperforms and just becomes a game-winning ability level 3, but still takes Skullport Merchants. Actually, there's also Grim Bounty in this pack as well. Maybe it's still just Grim Bounty. Skullport Merchant is great, but I mean, we currently don't have great removal. We do have a Price of Loyalty, and this can help us sack. Yeah, this is rough. Skullport Merchant versus Grim Bounty is not the easiest, but I still think it's Skullport Merchant just for the synergy, and then hopefully we can pick up a Grim Bounty later. I just forgot this was in this pack, but Skullport Merchant seems great, and as I say that, well, we get another Skullport Merchant, so guess we missed out on a Grim Bounty, but so be it. 2 Skullport Merchants is still powerful, and then hopefully we can pick up more Price of Loyalty to make up for that Grim Bounty that we didn't pick up. And then I guess I'll take a Herald of the Hadar as a 5 mana sink in the late game. Can actually be game winning sometimes if you're ahead, and if the game is stalled out, just having this could be fine. And then another Sepulchre Ghoul. Hopefully we pick up another Price of Loyalty. There's also Check for Traps, which is medium. Thieves' Tools can be fine. A random 5-drop, but Sepulchre Ghoul it is. So yeah, had we taken a Grim Bounty, we would have gotten a Skullport Merchant, but I'm not Psychic. We could have easily gotten a Grim Bounty in that other pack. But definitely need to prioritize price and removal now, since we don't have it, and this pack sucks. We're never going to complete a dungeon. We'll take a Boots of Speed in case we need to give a creature haste and smash in. And can be nice sometimes, just really cheap and efficient. And yeah, we'll take a Deadly Dispute. Great cards, some nice white-green cards as well here. Just hoping I get another Price of Loyalty. Now that I have all these sack outlets, I might prefer taking the Price of Loyalty over Grim Bounty. Not sure if that's crazy, but maybe that's correct. Swarming Goblins, also an overperformer. Definitely an upgrade over Herald, I think, but we still need playables, so it's going to keep in the main deck for now. And then, do I take another Sepulchre Ghoul? I have 2 already. I have Deadly Dispute. We have enough sack outlets. Might prefer another Vampire Spawn, although we do have double Skullport Merchant already in some 3s. I mean, it's never wrong playing a million 2-drops, right? Other than that, we don't have any 4s. So maybe we can consider the Manticore, which isn't a great card necessarily. Yeah, with double Sepulchre Ghoul, I think we need something on 4, so I'll take a Manticore. So we can at least have something that can fly over, and maybe we can block with Skullport Merchant and then finish something off, or attack with our creatures and finish it off. Because with double Sepulchre Ghoul, I think we're fine, and ooh, Warlock class even wield, so this card's powerful and common. That's great. Big fan of this card. So could use a Price of Loyalty. Face Reversal could also be fine, but I don't think it's necessary. Grim Bounty, Price of Loyalty would be great. Probably leaning towards actually Price over Grim. I don't know. Maybe that's crazy. Maybe it's still Grim over Price, since Price is still conditional and usually we'll wheel. Sometimes we'll wheel over the Grim Bounty. So, and we could even play this over, I guess, the Herald of Hadar, which is quite expensive as a mana sink. This is just a better blocker and a better stat line. 3/5 is usually just better than 4/4. Gold Dragon, I guess if we're making treasures, we can splash this, and this is the totally powerful serviceable bomb. How many treasures do we have? Makers do we have? Deadly Disputes, Clane, Skullport Merchant, Plundering Barbarian. Yeah, this shouldn't be too difficult splashing for Adult Dragon. Just throwing the plains, some treasures, and we should be good. Card's nuts. And then, okay. This pack doesn't seem particularly amazing. We have a bunch of 5s already, so I'm not really sure about the Tiger Drive Hunter. We have enough 6s. Could actually just take a You Find Some Prisoners, which, you know, could be fine here. We already have enough sack outlets. Like, these are just really clunky, expensive creatures. So I think You Find Some Prisoners could be reasonable, just to kind of lower our curve and have some sort of alternative spell in the deck, and we'll take another Plundering Barbarian over Thieves' Tool. Don't have too many creatures I'm interested in giving evasion with, so, and not enough 3 power really to leverage it, so double Plundering Barbarians is great. And yeah, we'll take a Valor Singer. Not sure if I'll play it though. The Armory Veteran's also not great. I guess I'll put it here for now since we could use a few more extra playables in the deck. So the deck looks fine, but could use a Grim Bounty on 4, which we had to sadly pass up, or another Price of Loyalty. Okay, second Deadly Dispute. I don't think I want to splash for Brunor. I have a lot of 3s already with the Demogorgon's Clutches. Again, Thieves' Tool is not the best in this deck. It does help us ramp, but I think I'd rather prefer the Deadly Dispute. It's just 2 mana draw 2 basically in the Treasures deck. Even if you sack your own treasure to draw 2, that's pretty serviceable, and it's a good black common. I think this could be one of the best black commons in the set. Definitely one of the top black commons, along with like Sepulchre Ghoul, but Green Bounty is easily number 1, and then between Sepulchre Ghoul and Deadly Dispute, I think I prefer Sepulchre Ghoul. I'll take another hard Hexblade, although we don't have a ton of removal, but Eyes of Beholder is just too expensive. I'd rather just have a Hexblade at the end of the day. And then hour 23, wow, Grim Bounty, pick 7, in the same pack as Hoarding Ogre, which I would be happy with, but I'm not going to say no to Grim Bounty. Seems great. And then now, with the Grim Bounty, I could just cut maybe Boots of Speed, or something else. Ooh, Shambling Gas is pretty nice. Could use this card as well. And then I guess since we don't have much 4s, I could consider the Clattering Skeleton. And if we want to lower our curve, we could just cut an Earth Cult Elemental, throw in a Clattering Skeleton. And then, wow, still a lot of cards. I have all of these except Dueling Rapier, so I guess I'll take the Rapier. And then take an Unexpected Windfall for the sideboard. And then, yep, this deck looks solid. The hard Hexblades don't look great, but, I mean, if we can... They're probably one of the more weaker cards. Boots of Speed also could be okay, but we're not, like, a hyper aggro deck. Giving a creature haste is nice, but, again, we're not hyper aggressive. We're just more grindy more than anything else. So I could see cutting the Boots of Speed. And then, do I just run 16 lands with all these treasures? I could just cut a hard Hexblade, which is an okay card. I could cut You Find Some Prisoners, which is definitely a weaker card. I think I need my creatures at 5 and 4. And then the hard Hexblade does get better with the Valor Singer, though. So maybe it's just You Find Some Prisoners. And since we have double Plundering Barbarian to deal with artifacts, I don't really think we need this. And this is more of like a late game card anyway, so something like this seems fine. This is too expensive for a ramp spell. We already have a 6-drop. Yeah, I think we'll just run 17 lands, something like this. Could take the Herald over Zombie Ogre in case we flood. Like, just having the ability to activate this as a mana sink in the late game could be nice. And we're not really venturing much with the Zombie Ogre. The Clattering Skeleton is also just filler. It's not a great card anyways, but I'll still play it. Yeah, you know what? Let's get rid of Zombie Ogre and let's try Herald, because he could... If we do end up in a situation where we're just flooding out, like this card just allows us to just drain them out maybe as a win condition, and we're not really trying to venture too much. So, you know, all in all, I think the Zombie Ogre is better if we have a bit more of a venture synergy in this black-red deck. But I think the Herald is a reasonably fine body, and then the fact that, I mean, this is a better blocker, obviously, but the Herald, but we have some Skullport merchants which can block early anyways. So I think we can run something like this, and then playing hard Hexblade on 2 is also not the worst. So, yeah, then we can just toss in 1 Plains as a splash, and then looking at the mana base, definitely favoring black, so definitely add another black source, and then we could also not play too much red, since we have a lot of black in the early game, even though we need red on turn 3 for the most part. It's not a lot, and we're also making treasures, so I could see myself going something like this instead. The 1 Plains is a little bit awkward, but we can just count that as kind of like a colorless source. Or maybe we can just play red anyways, maybe go like 9-7. But I guess this deck wants to go more like 10-7, and just extra insurance with the planes could be reasonable. So I don't know, I think we can run something like this and give it a shot. Yeah, definitely not the best deck, but also not the worst. I could also cut Deadly Dispute, but I do like the Deadly Dispute as a 2-mana draw too, in case we flood, so we'll give this a shot again, so let's do it. As much as I would have loved more sack outlets, that wasn't the case, so Ghoul is just going to be like a 2-mana 2-1, which isn't all that amazing. It has a little bit of upside, maybe the threatening the sack, but it's also not great in this deck. Still happily played though. I could also just cut it for the Zombie Ogre as well, just to have more beef. But yeah, this hand seems fine. So I can lead with a Sepulchre Ghoul now into a Skullport Merchant. And then draw a card with the treasure from Skullport Merchant. Ingenious Smith, so a red-white equipment deck. Misses. Yep. Probably not going to trade for this. Probably going to play Skullport Merchant and pass. And I'm fine taking one here. Plate Armor's really gross, so maybe it's fine to trade here. Because we do have the Deadly Disputes with the price of loyalty to sack, so I think I will... Yeah, and there's our Deadly Dispute, so I think I will attack. Yeah, I'll attack and trade, and then if he does trade, I'll play the Plundering. Never mind. Actually, I could play Plundering Barbarian to get rid of this. I could also make him waste his turn equipping. So what happens if I play Skullport Merchant? Next turn I can still play Plundering Barbarian. Yeah, you know what? Let's... Maybe he wastes his whole turn equipping this and attacking, and then we can just... Yeah, you know what? I think I'll play the Skullport Merchant. Because I think it's worth having him waste his turn equipping Plate Armor, and then attacking for 5, and then we can swing back. So he loses a ton of value off of it. Sure, we'll take 5, but I think it's still worth it here. And if he wants to sit back, that's also fine, but never mind, we'll take 5. So basically he's spent his turn not developing his mana, and that's good for us. So we'll cast a Plundering Barbarian. I guess we can also sack for the treasure and draw a card now. So we want to destroy target artifact. And then play Hard Hexblade. Draw a card with it. Ooh, Price of Loyalty of Deadly Dispute is great. Sure. So this is a 3/3, could double block or not. Seems like a pretty reasonable target to steal and stack, honestly. And I'm probably going to do the Price of Loyalty Deadly Dispute over activating, although... yeah, you know what, let's do this. Let's play land. Let's Price of Loyalty on the Chaos Channeler. And I guess we can use the Chaos Channeler to exile cards on top, so that's pretty sweet. Oh yeah, he's just going to concede. Deck is just too powerful, I guess, so... We were just going to draw a ton of cards. So I probably wasn't going to Deadly Dispute, just sack it to the Ghoul, and then cast maybe whatever I exile off the top of my library, so... The black-red deck is just so gross, it can do things like this, which are kind of unnatural. Okay. Probably not play this on turn 2 since I want to gain value off of the treasure. Plundering Barbarian can kill this, but probably better off playing the Skullport Merchant first. And then we can kill this maybe next turn to be mana efficient. And then this also trades for the 2/2, which is nice. So I think I'll do that, because I don't want him equipping the Fang Blade. So we'll destroy the Thieves' Tool here and say go. So just getting a nice 2-for-1 if we trade for the 2/2 here. Hard Hexblade, drawing a card, sure. So not really in a position to attack. Playing Barbarian, I'm hoping he doesn't kill my treasure to be a jerk. Wow, he kills my treasure to be a jerk. Rude. So that's going to slow us down a bit. And the trade here is pretty reasonable. Land was a great draw. Probably better off playing the Clattering Skeleton. And then this can maybe trade for something, and then we can maybe Grim Bounty something and attack. Wanty Fangblade. Solid card. Now, Dull Dragon is pretty nice. I could Grim Bounty this and then attack, and then next turn play Gold Dragon. I don't hate that. Seems fine. And this can enable a pretty good attack for the turn. And then I'm fine with a double block if he wants to do it. But attacking for 4 is also nice here. I'm hoping he doesn't steal and sack my Gold Dragon. Oh, now he sees my hand, so got lucky there, sniping my Gold Dragon. But I can still play a Swarming Goblins or draw a card off of the Hard Blade, which is nice. Jaded Sellsword. I guess I don't mind trading for the Clattering Skeleton. So as much as I would like to play the Swarming Skeleton, I think drawing a card here is just better. And then we can still play Sepulchre Ghoul. And then I will attack with the Clattering Skeleton, just because I'm ahead. And the trade isn't the worst. I can choose to scry 1, which is important. And do I want black mana? Probably not. Although, the black mana will allow me to activate Warlock's class, but I'm probably just going to play Swarming Goblins next turn anyways. And I can also threaten to pump with the Sepulchre Ghoul if he blocks with a 2/2. Horde Robber, sure. So the opponent doesn't seem to be playing anything too scary. So what I can do here is I can main phase play the Swarming Goblins. And then I can also just attack with the Sepulchre Ghoul because I can threaten to pump it. I could also attack the Hard Hexblade and offer, because he could still double block this, which could be annoying, but yeah, I'll attack. I'm fine with a trade here, and then I could stack, but meh, we'll just trade here. And then I'll play a Warlock's class to drain him end of turn. Just has a great passive, and the Anticipate also helps in the late game to prevent Flood from happening. Although I might just attack with the Den of the Bugbear, honestly. Do I stack this? He doesn't have anything here. Yeah, there's no reason for me to sack it. I'll just... yeah, there's really no need. I'm probably not going to attack here. This opponent's just messing around. Because he can't sack itself. It can only sack other creatures. So it's a pretty bad steal. I'm fine. He wants a 2-for-1 himself. Yeah, he's probably just dead here. Seems fine. One drop and then a couple of 4s. Hopefully top deck some goodies. Not gonna mold his hand. Ooh, Skullport Merchant is sweet. Could have had 2 Grim Bounties and a Skullport Merchant, but if you have 2 Skullport Merchants and a Grim Bounty, still fine. The question is, do you take Skullport Merchant or do you take Grim Bounty? That's the best question to ask yourself. Pack one, pick one, and I think I would take Grim Bounty just because it offers a little bit more flexibility, and it's just removal, and removal is great. As much as I would love to sack my Shambling Geist to take out the Sepulchre Ghoul, that's not going to happen, since that's a little bit too slow. And we probably need a treasure to help ramp anyway, so a little bit unfortunate here. Could attack for 1, but I don't think it does anything, so I'll play the Skullport Merchant, didn't pass. Next turn we could sack this and kill the 2-1, but then we don't get to develop anything, which isn't great. I'm probably interested in developing the Clattering Skeleton or Swarming Goblins next turn as well. Opponent is in black-green, which is a much more mid-range sort of ramp deck. So, like, late-game cards like this, Warlock class is awesome. I could block the 2-1 here, because he does lose at end of turn, right? So, does he get this until end of turn? I don't know how this works. So, I mean, I guess he's going to remain 2-2, so I don't want to block it. But it's not the worst case scenario. So I could just sack it now and play a Sepulchre Ghoul, and this can still block the 3-4. And we still draw a card, which could be a right time to do right now. Just sack this, play a Sepulchre Ghoul. I could also play Clattering Skeleton and trade, and set it up for next turn. Lots of interesting options. I guess if I use it on the Ghoul, he could sack the Inspiring Bard, but so be it. I think it's okay. I might as well main phase it now in case he has a pump trick. And again, if he wants to sack his Inspiring Bard, that's all fine with me. I'll still draw a card here. And if I get a land, I guess I can play Clattering Skeleton. But yeah, Adult Dragon is nice, so I can still block the 3-3, and then next turn play Adult Dragon. I can also set a double block, so if he kills my 1-4, I can still sack in response and trade for the 3-3. Double blocking this isn't the worst. Yeah, it's not the worst. I trade a Sepulchre School for like a 3-3, which is great, and then I can still get out this Adult Dragon and attack for 4 and gain 4. He could have a removal spell next turn though, so I could Grim Bounty this, but he could also play something better. So I think it's a turn to do the whole Adult Dragon and hit for 4, and then hopefully he doesn't have like a Hunter's Mark, which he probably has since he used the Warlock class. But who knows? If I can keep swinging with this, that's pretty good. But if not, I'm still fine. So if he has a removal spell, Circle the Moon Druid, not the worst I've come across. And Vampire Spawn, also not the worst position to be in, so we can still attack for 4 here. I can also keep up the Manticore and Flash as well. Or maybe it's better to just play Swarming Goblins and still trade for the 4-4, and this also makes 1-1 tokens, so don't see a reason to do the Grim Bounty yet, since he could play like a Hill Giant Herd Forger, which could be a little bit more problematic, so this is probably the better situation. Could also set up a double block since I have second Skullport Merchant to follow up. Trade here, double block here, and we should be fine maybe. Yeah, I'll trade here and double block. I mean, I could also take it, but I think this is better. And if he uses a trick, that's also fine. I can still refuel. I'm gaining 4 life per turn with the Adult Dragon, and yeah, all his creatures are trading off here, so I can presume he doesn't have any ways to deal with this Adult Dragon. Otherwise, he would have used Hunter's Mark. This card's totally fine. So this is a good turn to just use the Grim Bounty on the 3/3. I could also chump block and then use Manticore. Maybe I can get value off of Manticore instead. Maybe that's just better, so I'm probably just going to not cast anything. Attack for 4. You could also top deck something, so maybe it's fine casting Grim Bounty, and then this way we can still gain the extra treasure. I don't know, let's get some Manticore value. I'll just say go. Worst case scenario, he shoots this down, but I can still block this and use the Grim Bounty to finish it off. And if he plays like a Purple Worm, we can at least try to kill it if we top deck a land, or at least Hill Giant Herd Gorger is probably a better target for Grim Bounty than... Okay, before it draws, I will just use Manticore so he doesn't get value off of his Deadly Dispute again. Underdark Basilisk, not the scariest either. Same with Sepulchre Golem, so yeah, we have some flyers to help us close out. And we also have our own Deadly Dispute, but no steal effects, so I think we'll attack. Yeah, and there's no way he can catch up with this Adult Gold Dragon, so yeah, definitely a good splash for the deck, and a powerful bomb you should first pick. I mean, we can draw red. I mean, Grim Bounties, if we get red mana, we can cast the Adult Dragon off the Grim Bounty. So I'm actually not against this hand. Definitely the Earth Cult Elemental would be my bottom if I can do anything about it, but, you know, it's not the worst. So when we can still play hard Hexblade on 2, and I will, just to get something down. Tarnar, yep. Worst case scenario, we don't actually get our 4th land, and that can be a problematic. The second worst case is if we only draw black mana, we can still cast at least Grim Bounty or Manticore. Probably gonna use a trick, no tricks, so that's a good trade. Hexblade did its work. A 2/2 common. Morningstar, so we do have double plundering Barbarian, which can answer this hopefully. Opponent's pretty aggressive, okay, so this could just end up in the worst case scenario. We don't get any lands for the rest of the game. And we get totally run over by a red-green aggro deck. And this also, he can also make a treasure off of this. So give me a land, please. Even a black mana I'm happy with. Okay. Ask and you shall not receive. So I'm probably, if I get a land, I'm probably gonna either fire off Grim Bounty or Manticore and trade. Probably need to fire off Grim Bounty if I get a land. And land was good off the top. We need to kill this Chaos Channeler. I can't let him draw cards. And then by doing this, I can maybe enable a Gold Dragon next turn to help me stabilize. But I'm definitely taking a beating in the meantime, but hopefully this dragon can help me stabilize. Hill Giant Herd Gorger, not where I want to be. So I might be forced to do something else. So let's say I gain 4 to 14, he hits me back, I should still be alive. I could also play Swarming Goblins and Chump, and that can give me some life. I can't really steal and stack anything, and then maybe next turn we can step a Manticore turn. I mean, we'll eventually draw another treasure, so I think we actually play the Swarming Goblins and Chump, and then hold off the other 2 power creatures, and then next turn we can hopefully Chump again and trade off for this 7/6. But if he has removal for this, I'm pretty much dead almost. Yeah, we're pretty much dead. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, we're just dead here. Pretty unfortunate. We kept a can of Grim Bounty, hoping to draw a land, but with one miss of a land drop, we just got totally destroyed. So it kind of shows you how fast this format can be. Definitely don't want to stumble on your lands, and if you're trying to do some big things, make sure that you have enough defense and card advantage and stabilizers in the early game. But that was a pretty unfortunate hand, honestly. Just couldn't draw any lands early, and that's what cost us the game. If the opponent gave me an extra turn, I could have possibly stabilized, but still wasn't great. Okay, Clane, Grim Bounty, Price of Loyalty, Sepulchral and Price is nice. So this is a really good opening hand. Definitely keep. Yeah, we'll play a Clane, and then even if Clane dies, I can draw a card off of the Hard Hexblade. And then this is a 3/3, so that's nice. Another red-green deck. So 2 removal spells, Price and Grim is pretty nice. You find a Cursed Idol, not the worst. Play I've seen on turn 3. But luckily this red-green opponent is probably a mid-range deck that's looking to ramp, since I'm not seeing too much aggression. Or maybe he's just unlucky, who knows. Do I sack a treasure here and draw a card? I think it could be worth it because, like, I could ramp out the Herald, but I think the value of this is great, and I can also play this along with Sepulchral, so I think this is worth it. And then Sepulchral and attack for 1. So this sets up our Price of Loyalty pretty nicely. And the value of this is undeniably pretty powerful. And I'm probably going to use the Price right away, since using a Price is worth it here, since I can also make treasures off of his attack. So yeah, this is going to be scary. So what I can do now is I can play the tap land, play Price, steal the Ogre, attack with all, and then sack the Ogre second main. And at this point, the opponent might just concede. So yeah, just getting a ton of value here. And then yeah, the ghoul sacking the Hoarding Ogre is really busted, so it's pretty good. Hill Giant Herd Gorger, pretty nice target for Grim Bounty. So as much as I like to play the Herald and be efficient with my curve, I think it's better to just kill this ASAP and then make sure I get in the damage this turn. Because yeah, it's just good to just get it out of the way, and hopefully no second Hill Giant Herd Gorger. Can then maybe cast Herald and start activating it, or activate the Den. Owlbear, okay, not the worst. I could also just activate the Den. Let's say I activate the Den, what happens? I attack with all, he blocks the Sepulchral, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I guess he's dead, so yeah, we'll just make this into a creature, and then just attack with all. And he needs to block the Sepulchral because it's just gonna be the largest creature, and if he blocks here, we'll just sack it. And that's lethal. So land helped us close out this game. And we're almost diamond tier. We're almost diamond. Just need to, again, just hit a huge win streak. And it shouldn't be too difficult to gain the mythic early this month and showing off like a high ranking again. But I'm not sure if I want to do that still. Just really boring, and there's really no point if you don't play standard or historic or constructed. So 4-1, making back most of our gems. Okay, I just need red mana, but I mean, maybe it's still keepable on the draw. I can eventually get to land 4. We'll try it. This could be wrong, but I'm on the draw, so it's a reasonable hand to keep. Although drawing the Earthcall Elemental is definitely not a card I want to draw, so red mana would be great off the top. And then we can maybe ramp out Clattering Skeleton with an extra counter. At least the opponent isn't playing anything good here, just bad card, but we're also not doing anything, so I'll stay back. Could actually chump this and just make a treasure, honestly. Like, that's actually not an unreasonable play. It's not like this is going to do anything, so I'm actually hoping he attacks here so I can make a treasure. And then I can play Clane or something and then keep ramping more. Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it. It's not worth keeping around. And we'll definitely make a treasure here. And as I say that, we get our land. I could kill this, but it's not worth it. Clattering Skeleton isn't the worst. The worst case scenario is if he kills this, what would I want to draw? I would maybe want to draw into... I guess if I play Clane and make a treasure, I can play the Valor Singer and pump it. So that's also not a bad idea. I can also play the Clattering Skeleton, which can guarantee a 0-4 attack in. I can play Clane, and then play Valor Singer, which is a 3-3, which can pump. Not sure. This could set up a better turn with the Grim Bounty, though, since if I can make a treasure and cast it, that's great. So yeah, I don't mind this. I'm hoping I don't get blown up here, but I think this could be the better play over ramping out the Clattering Skeleton. And this can attack for 4 every single turn, since it gets that extra bonus. So I think this is worth it here. And then worst case scenario, he kills Valor Singer. I can draw a land, maybe Grim Bounty, make a treasure token, or play Clattering Skeleton. Okay, the land is good. Although it comes in tapped, it's better than nothing, and we can still attack for 4 here, which is definitely what I need to do. He could flash in Scion of Stygia, but that doesn't do anything against the 4-4. Okay, just you hear something on watch. Not the worst case. So the worst case scenario is again having this kill, but top decking the red mana was pretty nice. So if he has a removal spell, oh, Teleportation Circle. Yeah, that's definitely scary. Is that an artifact? No, that's an enchantment. I can't get rid of that. So he could just keep activating this to get value. So I might want to Grim Bounty the Cloister Gargoyle. Otherwise, he's just going to keep venturing. And that isn't great. Yeah, this is scary. I mean, if he uses this to bounce the Moonblessed Cleric, he can get enchantments, but he'll eventually run out. So I think actually taking out the Cloister Gargoyle is more important, because I don't want him making treasures tokens and ramping, because he's a venture deck, so I think killing it is much more better. No blocks here, so if the opponent misses a land drop here, I can definitely get far ahead. And now class him, and yep. Okay, can sacrifice treasure, but I don't want to. I think it's better off to just play this without sacking the treasure. Just a 4-3 is pretty nice. And hopefully no counter spell like Bardigate. Okay, no Bardigate, so we'll see go. And the question is, do I trade for the Moonblessed Cleric? I think I do. Otherwise, he's just going to get value off of this Teleportation Circle constantly. So he's probably going to play it here and then maybe bounce the Moonblessed Cleric. And then if he can just get a bunch of removal all day, then that's going to be a little bit difficult to win against, since I might not be able to drop this Earth Cult Elemental. But I'm definitely fine trading here, so he doesn't get to bounce this over and over again and gain a million value. I could block here too. Maybe he has that combat trick, I don't know. But I'll block here, and he probably has that combat trick where you pay 3 mana to give it first strike and lifelink. I think that's what he has. Yeah, he has it. The maneuver. It's not the worst. Okay, sure. I take 1, I gain 1, okay. And then I definitely want to scry here. And then probably a land off the top would be nice. The Sepulchral Glow of price is great, so I'll take it here. Don't think I'm going to use the treasure, because again, I think it's too important. Never mind, let's play it like this. And then I guess I'll make a 3/3 Plundering Barbarian, since I can make a treasure anyways with it, so this is fine. Make a treasure, attack for 1. And then I can maybe steal and sack something if he has something crazy. If this just keeps bouncing and getting enchantments, it doesn't draw him at least, it just keeps it on top, so I don't actually care if he blinks the Moonblessed Cleric. It's not anything I'm too afraid of. I could just eventually just keep attacking and then outvalue him, hopefully. I mean, just keep trading creatures off, but he's missing his land drops and not doing much. Portable Hole, let's see what he's going to target. Hopefully not Sepulchral Glow, although I can destroy the artifact. I could sack this, but the fact that I can use Plundering Barbarian to destroy this and make another treasure is not worth it, so that's fine. And I want to destroy this anyways because it's just really annoying. And then I'm fine attacking for 3 next turn. Could also play Earth Cult Elemental. But for now I think we just attack for 3. Could also trade for this ghoul, but I do want my sack outlet, so I'll attack for 3 here. And yeah, I'll probably use a treasure for this. As much as I like destroying the Portable Hole, I think this could be worth it here. Alright, now he needs to sacrifice a permanent. Probably will sack Dragon's Disciple, which is fine. And then we'll say go. So he's probably going to try to blink this to get a removal spell back. We can destroy the Portable Hole to make a treasure. And then the fact that this is a draw also slows him down. Minimalist Containment. Okay, that's actually a treasure. So that's actually pretty good for me, I'm not going to lie. This is an artifact though. Probably going to... I'm fine actually maybe trading off for the 3/2. Not sure. Gold Dragon is sweet. So I guess I'll play the Gold Dragon instead. I could actually... So if I play Plundering Barbarian, destroy the... You know what? I think I just want to attack. Yeah. Let's just attack here. I'll trade the Sepulchral Ghoul at this point. He's most likely going to trade for the Plundering Barbarian, which is, I think, worth it. And then we can Plundering Barbarian kill the Portable Hole later. And then he doesn't have any good creatures to bounce with the Teleportation Circle. So I'm just happy he hasn't casted this card yet, because it's just a complete bomb. The fact that he's not playing it is kind of scary, so he could have to use something on watch, so I'm probably not going to attack with the Gold Dragon. I can actually just attack with the Den of the Bugbear, which I think could be reasonable, so let's do this instead. So he probably has the U here, something on watch. So I think I'm attacking with Ghoul and Den of the Bugbear here. We also make a 1/1 token. Yeah, he definitely has it. I mean, it's strange that he's passing up all his mana and not attacking. And I think I'm fine losing my Ghoul if he has the removal spell, because I can just use Price to just steal his biggest creature and close out the game, so that's totally fine. So opponent's probably wondering, why isn't he attacking the adult Gold Dragon? Well, because this is odd. It can't be bait, I mean, it's too weird. Keeping up all his mana. Yep, he has it. Let's sack it. and then hit him for 5. Could see a bounce spell. Okay, so he also had you come to river, sure. Still made a 1/1 token out of it. Not amazing, but at least I played around the removal spell. And I can Plundering Barbarian, destroy the portable hole, play Sepulchral Ghoul, and then we have a Price of Loyalty up. Dragon's Disciple, okay. Right, so I can attack for 4 now. This is a pretty bad uncommon, so this opponent is playing a suboptimal deck. Could use a treasure from Clane, but I think I'm just gonna cast this without paying the treasure. I can still attack past the Dragon's Disciple by sacking. Play lands, they go. And just no good targets with the Teleportation Circle. Got rid of all of his permanents. Like this card with Priest of the Forgotten Gods and like the 5 mana 4/4 draw a card trample Owlbear is insane. It's also pretty good Portable Hole, and again Minimus Containment because you can just keep moving the removal around. It's also great with enter the battlefield venture creatures, so definitely a bomb rare that I'm happy the first pick, and pretty fun card to open up in your Friday Night Magic or in your local tournaments. Yeah, this card is just not good. Ooh, Grandmaster of Flowers, okay. That's one I haven't seen yet. What does this do? So, without First Strike, Double Strike, or Vigilance, so I can't attack with that, okay. I still think we win, because I can just steal the 1/3 and attack with all. Yeah, we'll just use Price of Loyalty here, steal the 1/3 and attack with all. I'll play with the treasure because I deal the extra damage. Might as well at this point. And then we'll just attack all at the opponent. I'm not even sure if that Planeswalker is good, to be honest. Like, it seems okay, but it's a little bit hard to get to 7. It locks down a creature, so it's a removal spell, but there's a chance that they could always, like, play another creature which can attack it. I'm not sure. If you're in a white control deck, I guess it's pretty good, but if you're not, then it's not that amazing. Because imagine if it just becomes a 7/7 indestructible dragon all day, and you can just lock a creature down all day. It's a pretty good card. But yeah, let's keep playing. 5-1. Okay, no black mana. This can make a treasure at least. So it's not the worst. I think I'll try it. Obviously, I want to play this exactly on turn 2. But, I mean, we can still play a slower game. So, opponent's also black-red. No black mana. So, probably going to play the Plundering Barbarian, make a treasure, and then... What do I want to do? I could sack the treasure first to Deadly Dispute, or play Clane first. Or I can play the Swarming Goblins first, not sure. And eventually hope I draw black mana to play Clane. I guess it's possible to play Clane next turn and then chain off a Hired Hexblade, or play Deadly Dispute and make another treasure and take it from there. So it's actually not a bad idea either. I'm fine if he uses removal here, it's not the worst. Going past turn. Okay, Dan with Bugbear. So it feels like I should just play Kalane just to chain off and draw some cards here. But first things first, I think we attack. Yeah, let's get Kalane out there. And then the question is, do I even play the Hexblade? I might be more interested in keeping Deadly Dispute to sack the treasure and then end of turn to draw 2 to give me more, to guarantee that I have another treasure to back it up, and then get out the Hired Hexblade the next following turn. This does add more board pressure on the battlefield, so it might just be correct. In case I don't draw black mana, this could be kind of odd. Actually, I guess I need black mana anyways to cast the Deadly Dispute, so yeah, that wasn't good. I should have just played out the Hexblade. Maybe at least I can keep a black mana to sack one of my creatures if they have a removal spell. So if he uses it now, I'll just use Deadly Dispute. I mean, if he has the 3 mana deal 2, at least I can fizzle his treasure. So yeah, probably keeping up Deadly Dispute wasn't the worst idea, but I should have still played out the Hired Hexblade and make a 3/3 and drew a card off of it. And luckily I can gain value off of this, and we finally got our black source, thank God. Okay, so now what? If I have a 6 mana available, I guess I can sack a treasure, draw a card, and then play the Chattering Skeleton, which is almost probably better than playing the Swarming Goblins. Okay. Earth Cult Elemental isn't too bad. So I'm probably gonna attack with a 4/3, offer to trade and play Earth Cult Elemental. And if he sacks a land, then he's gonna fall behind. I don't mind venturing so I can scry, obviously. I don't want to play this pre-combat because you could have more information if I played this pre-combat on what to keep on top. Keeps it on top, so it could be a removal spell. Also scry here, and could keep second swamp. Might not be necessary though. I don't want to flood out, so I think I'll do this. I think it's better to maybe. I mean, Earth Cult's just going to punish him real hard here, because he might be forced to sack a land. So I think I go for this instead. And a 6/6 body is hard to deal with, so yeah, I guess he's forced to sack a land now, which isn't great. So he might not have the mana to cast Grim Bounty. We'll see. Wow, it has no land, so definitely doing some good work, and we'll attack with all. Don't need to worry about any sweepers. There's only Sphere of Annihilation in this set, and it's not even that good, and it costs a ton of mana to use. So we'll just play out the Swarming Goblins, and then Sepulchre Ghoul, and then we should be good. Yes, alright. Alright, so 6-1. Let's get the final matchup. And maybe I'll do another video for Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. Since again, I'm lacking quality, good content for that set on my channel. And sorry, Mike, I couldn't get you out of the bad Mythic, but I mean, I just didn't have enough time. But overall, yeah, not bad. Let's keep going. We'll eventually make back most of our 3K gems again and do another draft challenge, which is really fun. Opening hand. Okay, I mean, one land can give us Plundering Barbarian, so it's not the worst actually, and we're also on the draw. It's also not great, but could be serviceable. Plundering Barbarian can maybe trade off or help us ramp into Swarming Goblins. And then we can also make another treasure for Deadly Dispute. I don't know, it's not great. I might want to save the Plundering Barbarian to kill an artifact, but, you know, I might as well try. Don't like the mole. Any third land can give us access to the Plundering Barbarian, so it's not bad. So, yep. Warlock class, okay. There's no negate in this set. Definitely would have been better on turn 1, obviously, but still fine. Valor Singer. Nothing I need to worry about too much. I could play my own Valor Singer, but I probably just want to make a treasure here. Like, this is not even going to block the Valor Singer anyways, so I'm obviously better off making a treasure and then ramp out Swarming Goblins the next following turn, take 3. Or maybe keep a Manticore and trade. Chaos Channeler, that's a scary one. So this is just going to give him a bunch of cards. Don't really have a clear answer to this. The Manticore is a little bit too sketchy, so I think I'll play Swarming Goblins and attempt to trade for the Chaos Channeler. Or triple block it, I don't know. And 2 Goblins is really nice. So hopefully he just doesn't peel anything insane off the top. And I can just trade off for this, hopefully. He could have a Shocking Grasp, so I might actually put a bunch of stuff in front of this just to ensure it dies. Like, I'm fine losing a Goblin token and Swarming Goblins just to ensure this thing dies. So I'm probably going to do a triple block on this with a 2-1, a 2-2, a 1-1, and a 4-3 in case he has something dumb like Shocking Grasp, which can just completely blow me out. I guess if he pumps here, I'm hoping he pumps the Valor Singer, yeah. So he exiles 2 off the top, that's pretty scary, and he gets his land drops. Yeah, Chaos Channeler I think is the most important creature to kill here, so I'm not going to attempt to block the Valor Singer. I think it's just too important to get rid of this Chaos Channeler, otherwise it's just going to win him the game. So yeah, we're going to put everything in front, hopefully, and if he has Shocking Grasp, it will still hopefully result in a trade. A bounce spell will still result in a trade. And yeah, again, I'm fine losing Swarming Goblins in a 1-1 just to ensure that it dies, because we cannot allow that thing to just draw a bunch of cards for him. It would be bad, really. Swarming Goblins, okay. Still not the best. So now I can block and then trade off. Yeah, this doesn't seem great. I think I need to hit my land drop, so I'm going to activate Warlock class, or maybe Flash in Manticore end of turn. I could also block in Deadly Dispute. Maybe, you know what, actually I'm going to use the Warlock class, and then maybe do a double block or trade. Den of the Bugbear is a nice land, but I probably need an untapped land here. Just to play a 3-drop, or I can keep it up anyways, just as a spell land. But it's not like we have a ton of mana sinks. I could also block and use Deadly Dispute, but I think it's better to just, again, have an untapped land. Lose the den, play land, and then could make a treasure, could just play Valor Singer, probably play Vampire Spawn, double block the 4-3, and then take it from there. Or double block the Valor Singer, or triple block it. It's not great. I guess I'll try to double block it. I mean, if he has Shocking Grasp, I'm in trouble. I think the Valor Singer could be worse than the Swarming Goblins. Although, yeah, this isn't great. If he has a removal spell, I'm toast. I call it just 2-for-1 myself. Yeah, I'll block like this. I'll 2-for-1 myself. Because if I double block here and he has removal, it's worse. It's actually not actually 2-for-1 because I made a 1-1 off of the other guy, so I guess this is fine. Mordenkainen is a total bomb. How am I supposed to kill this? Yeah, I'm not gonna win against this. So close, but yeah, I'm not gonna play against this. Forget it. Mordenkainen is not beatable, especially in a board state like this with 0 flyers and You know, hitting him for 2 per turn is not going to do anything. It's just game over. All right, so 6-2. Might not get to 7 wins, but we came pretty close. Hopefully this final boss doesn't drop more than Kaiden in front of us and we can actually hit our land drops. Alright, just one more game. Let's do this. Klein on turn 2 is always nice. Wow, this is a great hand. I'll keep. Opponent's on the play. But that's fine. Definitely going to drop Klein into maybe Valor Singer, or not sure if I want to do Manticore because this is much more unique of an effect. Okay, that's not bad. At least he's not using it to ramp. Probably still going to play Valor Singer without the treasure and save the treasure for Swarming Goblins. Okay. I mean, I can still... Let's say if I use a treasure on this, what's the worst? I mean, this is a decent blocker, but I won't be able to cast my 5-drop next turn. So I probably don't want to use a treasure. And save the treasure for my 5-drop instead and say go. Do I block this? I mean, if he has a Bull Strength, I can bait it out, which also isn't the worst. I can also double block, but that would be worse in case of Bull Strength, so I'm fine just blocking this and having them both bounce back. If he has a removal spell, I'm also fine with that. Pattering Skeleton, okay. Yeah, we'll play Swarming Goblins, can take 4. I guess I can attack with the Valor Singer now, so that's also not bad, so let's do that. Fine, offering to trade. Get some value off of Klein. Just a measly 1-1. I'll take 4, and then if he has removal, that would suck, but I still need to keep the token around, I think, to ambush with the Manticore. Okay, he has removal, so we'll take 6. I guess we can't really, yeah. That sucks. Okay, so I think we need to take it here, and then block the 4-3 next turn, and then use the Manticore to finish it off. I could also trade the Valor Singer here, which is also not a bad idea. But it doesn't also doesn't seem great, so I think I just want to say go, and then pass the turn. Block it, you splash in Manticore, and then maybe keep up Deadly Dispute or something. Hopefully no Herd Gorger, but this is fine. No Hunter is fine. He does get the Venture here, but I think this is worth it. So I'm probably going to stay back here. I mean, I definitely need to take out the Null Hunter, and we're just drawing nothing but lands. So I think the right choice is to stay back and not try to overcommit, because I think we might need to double block this Null Hunter to at least remove it from the game. And a 2-1 flyer isn't going to do much. Like, sure, I can attack for 3 every turn, but if he starts enabling pack tactics, that's going to be a problem. And we're just not getting anything here. Just not a good hand in general. Yep, I probably need to double block the Null Hunter now. Do I offer Klein? I think I might have to. I could also double block here, or just block like this to maybe force something. Yeah, this isn't the worst. At least I keep my 2-3 around. He probably has a removal spell he top deck into, otherwise I don't think he would have made such a confident attack, but I think this was worth it. Say go. Merchant is great, although no. I could just Deadly Dispute main phase, which isn't the worst as well. draw 2. Second Deadly Dispute. Shambling Gas isn't bad either. Play land, so you go. I could also, I guess, double block the Owlbear and kill it with the final trigger from the Shambling Ghast. So I think I'll do that. And then hopefully we can sack the treasure again and draw 2, or at least steal a creature and do something from there. So I think double blocking here is correct. Otherwise I'm just going to take 4 forever, and that's not great. And opponent gets a nice 2 for 1. And then this can hold off his creatures at least. And land is not what you want to draw, so I guess I can still sack the treasure. I guess I can still Deadly Dispute main phase and then sack the treasure eventually to draw another card. Adult Dragon is sweet, so that was a really nice pickup. Yep. That was a really nice top deck. Do I play the Hired Hexblade? I don't think so. Just say go. Maybe I should play land to keep up the sack ability in case he top decks a removal spell, so should have done that as well, so we'll just keep attacking for 4. Luckily in this set it's not Strixhaven, where you have these Scry lands you can use end of turn. We'll just keep clocking in him, and if he has removal, we'll sack the dragon. Sure. This is one of the better black commons along with Sepulchral in the set. A lot of people thought black was going to be really bad in this set, but it turns out it was actually really good. Surprisingly. Opponent plays out land. Okay, there's our white mana that we were main decking, and then I can still block, and we're still fine. I do have another, Skeletal Swarming, but that's still a little bit too slow, I think. Yeah, that's still a little bit too slow from the opponent. And another Skull Merchant is great. So now we can sack the treasure. Just go off. And then we can always just chump and sack and take it from there. At least the skeleton's coming tapped. I'm not going to block the skeleton. Otherwise he gets the extra trigger. There's no reason to block any of this, actually. And yeah, we win. Okay, awesome. Adult Gold Dragon saves the day. Excellent splash card in the Black-Red Treasures deck. And yeah, not a bad draft video today. Did best out of 3, went 3 and 2, and then we got 7 and 1. And again, in AFR Draft, always lean towards Black-Red as much as possible. And if it isn't open, try to at least be in red or blacks, because the other archetypes in red or black are just pretty solid. And then the only one that doesn't really have red and black in it is the white-green life gain deck, which is also really strong if it comes together. But you still rather stay flexible. Like in this draft, we first picked Hunter's Mark, but we stayed open, didn't try to do the life gain deck, and still did pretty well. So yeah. Overall, obviously Black-Red is the best archetype, and then, you know, if you pick up powerful bombs in the late game, you can even splash them, like the Adult Dragon. So not a bad deck. So yeah, let's just claim our prize, and then pretend we're drafting Forgotten Realms, and then I'm probably gonna make a second video on Forgotten Realms since I'm again lacking content in this channel. Pack 1, pick 1. Yeah, Teleportation Circle's a bomb, especially with cards like Priest and Owlbear. It's really nutty, definitely the first pick. If this wasn't this pack, I would definitely lean towards red and take the red dragon. Just a great curve topper, probably the best dragon in this set, along with the black one, which kills things. Third pick out of this pack would probably be Priest, since I think white is slightly better than green, and this is cheaper. And the life gain from this matters if you do end up in white-green, whereas the Owlbear is a strong card, but doesn't have any life gain, and it's expensive. But I would definitely take Teleportation Circle, Insane Bomb. And you can draft all sort of enter the battlefield shenanigans, and this set has a bunch of them. Yeah, I would take Dritz over Grim Bounty, just a bomb rare again, and then white-green is also a great archetype. You know, you can just draft white green beatdown or draft a light or have some life gain synergy. But yeah, this would be my pick over Grim Bounty. This is just too powerful to pass up. But Grim Bounty would definitely be my second pick. There's also Sepulchre Ghoul in the back, and also Pack and Grim Wanderer, which still probably takes Sepulchre Ghoul over it. Mordenkainen is a bomb. Definitely don't avoid drafting blue in this set. If you open up a bomb blue like card like Mordenkainen, Imareth, or the Mind Flayer, definitely consider taking them even over Dragon's Fire. I mean, this card just wins games. Blue's the worst color, but it's not by any means like unplayable. It's not. Don't avoid blue. Like, you can still have a really powerful blue deck, and Mordenkainen is definitely one of the planeswalkers that can just win you the game. I mean, this is just, the plus ability is just a 2-for-1. The minus ability can just make creatures out of nowhere constantly. The ultimate is not amazing, but you basically just win the game anyways once you activate this. Once Mordenkainen sticks for a couple of turns, maybe 1 or 2 turns, you're already so far ahead. This card's insane. Otherwise, I would take Red Dragon. But yeah, Mordenkainen is fun, and blue's a fun color. Definitely the worst color, but there's a lot of fun things you can do in blue in this set. Like, you can just venture a ton in the white-blue deck, or you can play the unblockable blue-black deck, which is fun. And there's Mind Flayer, a bomb rare. Do you take over Grim Bounty? Yeah, there's an argument. Some people will argue just taking Grim Bounty over Mind Flayer to be in black red as much as possible. But, you know, Mind Flayer is definitely maybe the second or first pick in this pack of Grim Bounty. Personally, I would still maybe take Grim Bounty over it, since, again, blue is just not great. But this card is definitely a bomb. But I would probably still take Grim Bounty. Like, Mind Flayer can still be answered. There's removal in this set. Blue is just not great. Gold Dragon is great. If this wasn't Adult Gold Dragon, Swarming Goblin is also an overperformer. Great 5-drop in the black-red deck. The 1/1 tokens do matter because it helps you block. They help you chump block. They're good sack fodder for the Sepulchre Ghouls. And yeah, there's also a bit of Goblin synergy in the set if you open up the Goblin Lord. And I would probably take the Mythic Uncommon Skullport Merchant, Sailor Means with basically upside. Even if you, like, the worst case scenario, like, you know, this is just a 1/4 blocker, which isn't bad. But the fact that it's already a 2-for-1, the fact that it can sacrifice the treasure that it comes in with and draw a card off of it is already quite good. So it's basically like Divination in a sense, but with a 1/4 body, and the ability to splash and ramp is great. So yeah, Skullport Merchant is one of the great uncommons in the set. Probably, definitely a high pick you want to consider. I'm not sure if I would take this over Grim Bounty or Dragon's Fire still, but I would take it out of most of the other commons in this set and uncommons, especially maybe even over Warlock's Class or Priest of the Forgotten God or the Forgotten Lore, or like the Owlbear. But great card. And yeah, if you draft a dice roll deck like Higashi in the first draft portion, where he drafted a blue-red dice roll deck and totally destroyed me with 4 cards in his hand, then Farada's Devil's Chosen is one of the great payoff cards for the dice roll deck. Same with the Wandering Trickster. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I'm just gonna try to do more drafts, fire off the final token draft, and then maybe do a Forgotten Realms draft challenge. But hope you guys learn from watching, and in the meantime, have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye.